Hello, I'm Armenas Sikonis, riding motocross for Ice One Racing, and you're listening No Name RC podcast.
Nitro is the glory. Welcome to the No Name RC podcast with your host tonight, Keenan White, aka Lefty the Great, and if you are unlucky, the Finnish village idiot, JQ. This is the RC podcast with no name but plenty of content. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some serious bench racing.
Yes, indeed, Nitro is the glory, but E-Buggy pays the bills. What's going on, everybody? It's episode number 30. Trent. I don't know how to say it in any other languages, but yes, episode 30. 5 after 25, 20 away from 50, and the Nationals are coming. Or they start. Actually, they start tomorrow. So, I hope everybody's well. I hope you guys enjoyed the last episode with Wally Builds. Great guy to talk to. Nick is a cool guy. I'm super excited. We have the Nationals coming on this weekend. I'm upset that I'm not there, but that's how it goes sometimes. I couldn't make it, and it just was not possible to go there this weekend. So, before I get started, I want to say thank you to all the No Name RC podcast listeners, or No Name the NNRC squad from around the world. Been getting some really cool messages from people. Keep them coming, man. I really like you guys' feedback. Recorded some techno RC grassroots racer spotlights from a couple of guys from different parts of the world this week. So it's all good. All good. Thank you guys for your support, man. We can't do it without you. We got a cool giveaway going on for the Nationals this week. I'll talk more about it in this podcast and put the rules up for it later. I would like to say thank you to our sponsors, ASsaultRC.com, who sponsors the Invisible Speed segment. Thank you to Brent Densford and Assault RC for coming on and doing sponsoring that segment. Go to ASsaultRC.com, type in Lefty19 and get 10% off your order. Let's show Assault RC some love. But in turn, doing that, you help show the podcast some love. So that is greatly appreciated. Techno RC. Yes, they'll be in full force at the Nationals this weekend. Thank you for your support, guys, for the Grassroots Racer Spotlight, which is very popular now. So, yes, and if you wish to be on the spotlight, hit me up. I'm trying to record them in bunches, so I'll pick a day and I'm going to record with a few guys because, it just makes life a little bit easier. And to fastrace.com for sponsoring the 10 question, 10 second segment. Thank you. This week's one is really good because, you know what? I'm rambling on. I forgot to even talk about our guests, but we'll get into that. And we have 2 new sponsors that I'm really excited about. It's really good. We have some really great sponsorship advertising levels for all forms of small businesses in the RC community. And if you're not in the RC community and you feel that this podcast can help, hit us up, man. We're looking to expand, and we got 2 new sponsors on. First, we have BK Servers from BK Hobbies. If you guys don't know, I had his name wrong. I kept calling him Bert Kramer. It's Bert Kammermer. I can't say his name properly. As you guys know, I always butcher last names. But I met Bert last year at the Nationals. Him and his, this guy is one badass RC helicopter pilot. He knows a good friend of mine, James Van Hook, who is the team rep for BK Servers, as well as Assault RC. So we got to talking, and they decided to come on as a sponsor of the podcast, which is really great. Go check out some of the BK servers. They do have some great surface servers that people are using in 8 scale and in 10 scale. I did write the number of the server numbers down in the announcement yesterday, but I'm really excited to have BK servers on as a sponsor. If you go to BK Hobbies and use the No Name promo code or coupon code, you get 15% off map, not retail. So go check them out. Thank you, BK Hobbies, for coming on board. Also, check out Bert and his star pilot. I believe his name is Kyle. They have a really good RC heli aviation podcast. I mean, Bert's really big in the helicopter world. Some of the stuff that I've seen him and this young guy that he has flying for him, it's amazing what they can do with these helicopters. I love all things RC, so you guys should check it out. It's really cool. Check out their podcast, show them some love. Go to BK Hobbies and hey, use that coupon code. Remember, the no name, and get 15% off your purchases. Thank you, BK Servos. Our next sponsor is my buddy Jason Darlin. I believe he's from El Paso. El Paso, Texas. I met him at Sun City RC Raceway. What's up, Joby Showers, Corbin Showers? You guys had a good race there this weekend. We'll get on to that. I met Jason at there last year when Joseph and I stopped by for the Border Wars. We hung out with our JQ guys there, Jimmy, Mike, Jeff, their wives. It was a great time. DJ. We had a blast at Sun City RC. It's a great vibe. So I met Jason. We got to talking at Silver State. He does printing and whatnot. So he just launched this new printing site for printing service for RC stuff. So it's called Bipolar Designs. Hit him up. They don't have a website yet, but check them out on Facebook. I did put the links in the announcement. The links will be in this description of this podcast. Check him out, man. He's doing some good work. He can custom wrap anything you want. If you got something in RC and you want it custom done, if you want it to match your paint scheme, check out Jason Darlin at Bipolar Designs. He will get it done for you. Tell him that Lefty from No Name RC Podcast sent you, and I'm sure he'll get you hooked up. I think once we get a website and stuff going, we'll get a coupon code for that to help save you guys some money. Maybe we'll get him to do some No Name RC Podcast decals that you can buy. We'll see what happens. But thank you, Jason Darlin and Bipolar Designs, for coming on. That's 2 new sponsors to the podcast. It's really appreciated. I thank you. We can't do it without the support of our listeners or the support of our current sponsors. Shout out to Brent Densford, Beach RC, JQ Racing USA. I gotta always shout out him. And all the guys who support JQ Racing, Model Tune over there in UK, Donuts RC in Europe. Hey, good guys, all great guys. And shout out to all my JQ family. I'm always gonna love you guys from around the world. Racing's going on, and you guys are racing like crazy. So, quick news this weekend. We had some racing going on. We had the Border Wars at Sun City at Joey Showers track there. It's a great little series they got going on in the Southwest. I believe it's between Colorado, Texas, and New Mexico. This week it was at Sun City RC, SCRC. And it was a great event. Maybe I like the track. I like the vibe that they have. Like I said, Joseph and I attended one of these races last year. We got to meet all the people from down the Southwest. Really great vibe going on. The JQ boys done well. Congratulations to Jimmy, Jeff, Amos, and his son Michael, who got to race together on Father's Day in E-Buggy A-Main. Shout out to Mike Norris as well. He did well in Truggy. Shannon Brinner and Mike's and Jeff's wife are always there helping those guys pit. Those guys know how to have a blast. They go to the race as a team. They represent. They have fun in the pits and have fun on the track. And congratulations to Joey Showers and the organizers of the Border Wars. I think his name is Tony Espen. I probably got it wrong, but I met him at last year as well. Great stuff. Check it out, man. Border Wars. I think they go to Colorado next, so good stuff. The Northwest Championship Tour went to Idaho, Potlatch. Interesting looking track. I like it. A lot of our guys didn't go. Things came up. They weren't able to go. Austin wasn't able to go. But Ryan went. Jay Snyder went. The guy with the coolest mustache in RC. I think he still has his mustache. Young Kobe Harris went. He done really well. He won 2-wheel drive truck. He did pretty good in e-buggy. We got to get that young man a nitro buggy so he can start, racing the glory. Ryan Gibson did pretty good. Jay he was in the 40 plus main. I think he just finished out of the top 5. Great event, great vibe. One of the best series I've seen going on up there. Those guys are doing a good job. Congratulations to my buddy Colin Branch. I believe he won over 40 and came fourth or third in the pro class. Kyle Johnson and Kenny Johnson went up there to race. They actually had a really good podcast with Kenny Johnson, the guys from Track Walk. That's Colin Branch and Travis Kendall that I listened to last week. It's really good. Check it out. So, yeah, the NCT, my buddy Nick went up there. Unfiltered Nick, what's up, man? Good to see you racing. Nicholas Kohander, I believe that's how you say his last name. He went over to Idaho, and he had a blast. I really enjoyed his posts, his videos, and whatnot that he posted up. I'm glad to see him having fun and doing some glory racing because Nitro is the glory, you know? Yeah, I believe they had a SOS race, SOS championship in South Carolina at Easley. It's probably a lot of races that I'm missing, but these are just the ones that I followed, kind of. They had the Euro Bs as well, which is pretty good. Bernardi won that. He's from Spain. Well-attended race. Nice track. And, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, just one more announcement. Couple of podcasts I want you to go check out. Check out my buddy SJ Chandler, 8th and RC podcast. I believe that's what it's called. They did their second podcast with Jamie Clancy. And it's pretty good. I listened to a little bit of it last night, and it came out pretty good. So I have an announcement about a race coming up. My buddy Adam Ross sent this. He was on the Techno RC grassroots segment at once from Canada. Great bunch of guys that I believe they're up there in Ontario. But they have a nice race coming up here at the end of the month called the Otterville Nitro Blast. And Otterville is a pretty nice track, but they have some pretty interesting format going on. They're going to have 30-minute and 35-minute truggy and nitro buggy lower B mains. They're going to have double E buggy mains as well for the B mains. The A mains will be triple A mains for e-buggy, 10-minute mains, as well as they're going to have 55-minute. I don't know why they didn't do an hour, but I'm all for longer mains. They're going to do a 55-minute nitro buggy main and a 50-minute truggy main. So, yeah, it's pretty good. I believe they race 10 scale as well here. You know, the guys in Canada, they have a short window to race because they do have, like, a really, you know, it's Canada. They have winter up there. They got snow and stuff, so... Good stuff. It starts June the 27th and then goes on for the weekend. I'm sure it's going to be great. Good luck to all the JQ guys up there. Have fun, Adam. Nice guy. He's into drag racing now after listening to the podcast with Tim Smith. So that's good. Yeah, good stuff. We're going to do a short... I'm going to call up Joseph and we're going to do a short Nats preview because, man, I am super impressed with the Nats track. It's really good. Yeah. Got another race coming up in a bit. The Biddy Design track races next week in Ospey. So, yeah, lots of good stuff going on. Congratulations to all the guys, the series that had their racing this weekend, or wherever you guys raced this weekend. I hope you guys had fun. And, yeah, let's get ready for the Nationals. Give me a second. Let me call Joseph. Joseph.
Hello?
What's up?
Yeah.
Turn that
What's
stuff
up?
down, man. You're never prepared when I call you to talk. What's your issue?
I'm never prepared.
No, you
I'm
aren't.
busy.
What's going on? How are you?
I'm okay.
Yeah, how's things in Finland? How's the weather?
Fucking awesome. T-shirt, shorts.
Yeah, lucky for you. It's
Sunny.
8 o'clock in the morning here, and I'm sitting in here back here recording with you, and I'm sweating bullets already. But I'm gonna fix that here in the next couple of days. It's gonna be AC is coming. Winter is coming to the virtual studio. So, yeah. What's going on, Joseph? You just come back from Latvia. How do you say it again?
Latvia.
Latvia. You went there for the MXGP. Thank you for that awesome voice note. Who was that guy that you who was the rider that actually you got to do the voice note? Who is he?
rides for the Ice One team. He says it in the voice note.
Yeah, but I can't really understand it, and you know.
Why? You don't speak English?
No, of course I speak English.
Arminas Jasikonis.
Exactly. See,
From Lithuania.
okay, that's what I wanted to know. He's from Lithuania. How did he finish at the race this weekend?
Well, he qualified second, then finished second in the qualifying race, and then first race he was in fifth. I think he would have finished fourth, and he had a bike problem.
Mm-hmm.
And DNF'd.
And didn't Hurlings crash like in the warm up sighting lap, and then
he crashed in the sighting lap, and actually this same guy rode over his foot and broke
I saw
his
that.
ankle.
I saw that. It was so
It wasn't
slight.
his fault. I mean, he landed and had to avoid Hurlings and just barely clipped.
It was. It didn't. It was such a it barely clipped him. It's amazing that it broke his ankle. But I guess hey, when you got a big heavy bike rolling over you, I guess things happen. So how long is Hurlings going to be out for? You think?
I think he's done for the season.
Really. So this guy rides for Ice One or something. That's Kimi Räikkönen's. Isn't that Kimi Räikkönen's MXGP team?
Yeah,
Did you get to see the Iceman yourself this weekend?
he wasn't there.
Yeah. I'm sure the conversation between you and him would have been stimulating.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. But yeah, it looked like you had fun. How far is that country from Finland?
You take a ferry over for 2 hours to Estonia, and then you drive for 4 hours, and then you're there. So not too bad.
Good stuff. I enjoyed your videos. I wish you would have taken more. The racing over there just looks so fast. Like them guys, the tracks are just so fast, and like that chicane that he was doing. Oh man, that was so like one mistake, and if you clipped the hay bale, you was gonna eat dirt so hard,
Yeah, I saw one guy crash through there.
Yeah,
it was pretty hectic.
Yeah, I can imagine. How many people were there attendance at this race?
I don't know. I didn't hear any numbers, but a lot.
Is this the first time you've been to this country, or you've been before?
I went there last year too.
Okay. Yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff. I know you went there for a reason, and that's good as well. But we won't talk about that. That's all secret stuff. We talk about that later. But
we can talk about it.
Okay, well, let's talk about it. What did you go there for?
So we're trying to get RCGP events held alongside the MXGP races, and it's looking promising. One issue usually is that when you go to some event, whatever event it is, they want money for it. So there's a chance actually that we could join without having to pay, because we are bringing more eyeballs to their events. So nothing is set in stone, but it's looking promising. It's looking like we have a realistic shot at having at least one RCGP alongside an MXGP next year.
Yeah,
and that would be great, because then we'll only do it if we can have the track right by the motocross track. So the spectators can watch our racing during the breaks. And also, there's even talks of how we're going to stream it and what they will show on their TV show and stuff. So we're working out all the details, and hopefully they agree and we can have at least one of our races alongside theirs, because that means that tens of thousands of people will see it live. And then potentially, I don't know what the viewing figures are, but a lot of people will see it online too. Wouldn't normally see it.
What did you get to show them? Obviously, now that you have some coverage and actually have footage from two races, what did they think of you guys? What did they think about it?
Yeah, well, last year we didn't have anything yet. I mean, right. I was only able to show our plans. So now it's better because I was actually able to show them what we did. So yeah, they're pretty impressed that RC racing is as serious as it is and looks professional, and that it really is an international sport. So I think for many people it's surprising, because many of the people in motocross, they've had RC cars and they've played around, but they haven't followed it to the extent that they know that it's actually a
Got
full
you.
blown
Yeah.
scale motorsport.
People just don't know, man. That's the biggest issue. They don't know. I mean, but that's good, man. I'm glad that you went there. You had the footage to show. Like I said, it's all about creating the viable product to present to these people to get them interested. So
Yeah, and I also had some things for JQ Threads. So I mean, the JQ Threads project has been going on forever.
yes,
I mean, at least 5 years. I would say 6 years even. And
Well,
I've already had the T-shirts for I think 2 years, and I haven't really sold anything. So we kind of finally have a web shop, and there's still a couple of issues we need to fix with that. But yeah, so this Arminas Jasikonis is going to use JQ Threads as his, casual clothing when he's not racing. And then I also I discovered this Norwegian racer, Kevin Horgmo is his name, and he does vlogs.
yes.
So he posts on YouTube. I think a couple of weeks from his racing and from his practicing, and now he's injured and he's doing vlogs from injured life and stuff. And I discovered him a few weeks ago, and I just reached out to him. So I got him some shirts now also. They're on the way there. So
Good
he'll
stuff.
start wearing them. And then Yoko is a Finnish gear manufacturer. They used to actually, back in the day, they used to make the gear for Fox when Fox was starting out. So, I mean, they've been around forever. And they're making a comeback now, and they are sponsoring the Ice One team. So I had a meeting with them also about, team gear for RCGP, and also for motocross gear for JQ Threads, like a limited edition thing.
Yeah,
and
that
they
would-
agreed. So we'll have some JQ Threads Yoko gear.
That's
in the
cool.
future. So that's going to be really cool.
Yeah, man. Life, like a lot of people. Sometimes if you don't. There's a saying in DR in Spanish that says "Que no grita no la mama," and that means who doesn't cry doesn't suck, right? And we're talking about like when a baby's young and it sucks off, breastfeeding, whatever. But I have a saying too: if you don't ask, you shall not receive. So the worst anybody can say is no, and the best they can say is yes. So you have a 50-50 chance, and you might get a maybe in there. But life's about making connections, connecting with people with like-mindedness, maybe not with like-mindedness, and sharing ideas together to progress forward. And it looks like it was a very productive weekend for you. Hopefully Yoko makes big boy sizes because, I would like a nice, cool JQ Threads jersey or something. Big boy lives matter too. Fluffy guys matter too. Mind you, I should not be as fluffy, but, such is life.
Yeah, we need to work on that.
Yeah, well, you need to work on a lot of things too. All right, so I basically got you on here because the Nationals are coming. Well, they're here. Official practice starts tomorrow. We're kind of doing a small race preview. I mean, we're not going to be there. The only person, we have a JQ team going there. I'm not going. Brent's going to be there, and a couple other guys are going to be there. Jeff's not even going, so I can't even get reports from him. But I'm sure I'll be stuck to the TV watching it. I believe Live RC is covering it now, so that's great. I don't know if it's going to be all access or if you have to pay or whatever, but I don't know. We will see. So I have to say, first off, I think Thornhill is probably the best RC facility in North America. Probably one of the best RC facilities in the world. I think they knocked it out of the park with their track, with their organization. They have air-conditioned pits that sold out. They have everything's laid out. I mean, it's no different. I mean, they had the same thing for the Nationals last year. The track looks beautiful. They went a little different, but you've seen it obviously, right?
Yeah, I saw the picture.
They have that colored section is like a tribute to the Circuit of America's Formula One track that they have there close by. It's some plastic type material with a paint on top of it. And you stop drinking. Like I can hear you swallowing like while I'm talking. Are you drinking a long drink? So they brought back the step up. I don't remember. Remember in 2014, and when they had the Nationals there on the track outside, they had probably the best step up I've seen in RC. So I'm excited. It looks great. People are excited. I've been watching everybody's on my way to nationals posts, and I'm just bummed I'm not there because I would have loved to be there, and it looks great. But I'll be watching from afar. So, what are your thoughts on the track so far?
Yeah, I think the track looks good. I haven't really studied the layout or anything, but the presentation, it looks good, yeah.
Yeah.
With the paint in that corner and new pipes. Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah, it looks really good. A lot of people
Looks like it's actually an event, not just a club race.
Yeah.
So I always like that.
Also, I've heard a few people say, "Oh, it doesn't have a bunch of big jumps and stuff," but I think that's for like this. I don't think this track gets blown out. Number one, it will get glossy, like it did in 2016 when Rivkin won it. But like it's got to be good for everybody. So as usual, the cream will rise to the crop. The top guys will be fast, no matter what race it is, what track, how the track is. And then I think everybody behind can still have fun on a layout like this. So I think it's great. We don't have to have ridiculously hard tracks for these events. Maybe if it was just the pro guys racing, but that's not how it works. So I just think Thornhill's done a great job. Kudos to them and the people involved. We know putting on a national event is not easy. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. And people seem excited. I guess Texas is kind of centrally, like where it is kind of centrally located. So it's easy for people from the south to get to, from the east, obviously in the Midwest. Don't know how many West Coast guys are going, but, the main characters from the West Coast are going, the pro guys. Your buddy Anthony Westergaard's there. So, yeah, I'm excited to watch this weekend. This is one of my favorite races because there's no classes. It's ladder style. It's difficult. You finish where you finish. This is the race in America where if you want to gauge yourself where you're at, really on a national standard, this is the race for it.
Do they actually have coverage now?
I haven't heard officially, but it seems. I mean, I saw that. I think Mike Garris. I don't know. We'll know. I think it starts tomorrow. What I've been told. So, yeah, I'll be tuned.
So Live RC is covering it.
I believe so. I don't know if Thomas from J Concepts will be there doing his Facebook lives that he does. I'm not sure, but it's been really nobody's given me any clear information on who's covering it or anything. I'm just going from some scraps that I've seen on Facebook and whatnot. So let's do a little quick preview. Who's your picks for this? Who's your top three?
My top three. I think Tessman's going to win.
Really?
Yeah, because he's kind of not been there, so he's been quiet and been working and well, actually, you know what? I think X-Ray. I don't know. I haven't really heard about Tessman. I think X-Ray are they counting on the European guys to win the 10 scale worlds or?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are they having Thai focus on 10 scale? I don't know.
We talked about this. Jeff and I talked about this on the rant last week. Well,
has he been in Slovakia?
No, not that I know of. So
I'm assuming he's just been in Canada running 8 scale.
He did race at AMS 2 weeks ago. Last weekend, I think it was.
Yeah. So I'm going to say Tessman, he needs to.
Really?
What did he last win? I missed him winning races left, right, and center.
I can't remember, but he did win the Nationals last year, so.
Okay, there you go.
Has
he won something since the Nationals?
I would have to go back and look. He was second at Silver State. Yeah, he's not been on the best form, I would say, in 8 scale anyway.
Yeah, so
he won Truggy. He won Truggy at AMS, which was very controversial, but I don't think it was controversial.
So I think Tessman's going to win, and then it's going to be tough. I'm going to say there are many drivers you could put there. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to say that Mayfield and Mayfield and Lutz are going to be on the podium.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know which order.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to say that Lutz will actually beat Mayfield. So it will be Tessman, Lutz, Mayfield. That's going to be the top three.
Okay. Who's your dark
Believe
horses?
it or not. Believe it or not.
Who's your dark horses?
Well, some other drivers that could
make
easily
podiums
do well
or win.
No surprise if they do is, Fend is going to be fast, but he's not going to finish. Rivkin, he could be up there. I mean, he won the Nationals at this track, didn't he?
Yes, in
When
2016.
they were last here. Cavalieri.
Had a good weekend at AMS. He had a really good weekend at AMS.
But was he really on the pace, or was it just because there weren't many drivers?
There was a lot of drivers there. The only top guy that didn't show up was
not many
Mayfield.
top guys.
Yes, there was.
Okay, so who did he beat?
They had Fend. The only top driver, really top driver.
Who did Cavalieri beat?
I can't remember. I don't have the
You
results.
need to prepare for this shit if we're going to talk about something.
He did. But I think he came second or third.
Okay, I'm just gonna look this up now.
Yeah, because
AMS. What are they under?
race time. Alabama manufacturers shootout.
Race time something.
Yeah. Well,
I'll find it on Live RC.
just type in Alabama manufacturer shootout 2019 Live RC. Google it, and it should come up. Lutz won AMS. He dominated AMS really. He's had so much time at Thornhill. I talked to him briefly this weekend. He's confident, but he's also realistic about who is his competition is.
Good. Live RC still doesn't have results on that.
Well, go to the A main and let's find out.
I know, but they don't have results.
Look, they'll be here all day.
Anyway, okay, here we go. Okay, Cavalieri, he got second. Great. He was one lap down from Lutz.
Well, Lutz
So we
dominated.
had Tebow, Heckert, Bornhorst. Yeah, okay. Whatever. That means nothing. He beat Tebow. Okay?
Tebow won the warm up at this race.
Yeah, but Tebow was 2 laps down. What did he have? A flame out or something?
No idea. I just think
Let's check.
Tebow actually was in the B main.
I'm just going to prove you wrong that the fact that Cavalieri got second at AMS means nothing. Okay? Let's see. Tebow Tebow bumped from the B.
Yep. Him and Bornhorst were both in the B main.
Okay, so I don't know. He just had issues. I don't see. Okay, there's one long lap. Where's that?
I think it's his hand too. Remember, his hand was broken. I think that was giving him issues.
Okay, so he had a flame out or something. He has a double lap here, 67 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say Cavalieri gets second. He beats Tebow. Then we have Heckert, Bornhorst, Stees, Setzer. I mean, come on. Should beat those guys. And then Rivkin had issues. Tessman had issues. And Easton, Brunson, Alex K, Sontag, Fuller, Fend. I mean, that means nothing. We don't know if he's fast or not. It was one lap off the winner, and he beat people who should have beat, and then people who had issues.
All right. Good. Can we talk about the Nationals now?
Yeah, this is about the Nationals. So Cavalieri, I don't think he's going to win, and I don't think he'll do anything special. He'll be there. And that's it.
Okay. How about how about Cole? Cole actually did well at this race, the warm-up race. He came second.
Cole, yeah. So Cole could be one of those guys.
How did you
He
see?
could be like a dark horse. He's been, I don't know. He was really good on Saturday in RCGP in Manila. Then Sunday he wasn't very good. Austria. He wasn't very good on Saturday. Sunday he was a bit better. He's not very consistent with his performances. So if he has a good day, everything's working right, he's feeling it. Yeah, he could do really well. I can see that.
I think this track will also suit the cars, like the techno cars and whatnot. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bornhorst doing well.
I think it's wrong to say that it will suit the techno car. It's just that they won't be bad on this track.
I think the track will suit the techno car. I think they'll do good at this track because Tebow actually won this, but he won it. He won the warm up, I believe, after Lutz had an issue. Man, I think this is Lutz's to lose. I think he's got the most confidence. He's got a lot of time on this track, but I still throw in, man, I think the fastest guy, one of the fastest Americans I've seen in the races that I've been to so far this year has been Fenn. And if Fenn's stuff stays together.
It won't.
You said that at DNC and he finished second. If Fenn's stuff stays together, he can win this, no problem. Because I think this suits him.
Realistically, I mean, yeah, he did finish second. He should have been third. Come on. I don't know what Ongaro is thinking.
Yeah, but Fenn's fast. And if his stuff stays together,
he's fast,
he will do well.
You know, I mean, I guess miracles happen every once in a while.
Yeah.
But
all right. So I
don't
have
see it happening.
And I think, obviously, I want to throw Mayfield in there because I just can't. You can't put Mayfield out of any 8-scale race. Like, you can't say, okay, Mayfield's not going to win this at any 8-scale race. Any race he goes to, he can win. He's incredible.
Okay, I know what we can do. Let's do it. Let's put it this way. We name the drivers who can win. Like, we guarantee, like, one of these guys is definitely going to win the Nationals.
All right, there we go.
How about that? Let's do that.
Okay.
That's more fun. Okay, you go first. You name one.
Lutz.
Okay, I agree. Lutz could win. I disagree with you. I don't think it's his to lose. It's not like he's a mega favorite. He's just like,
I think so,
Nationals, man. He's one of the guys who could actually win.
I think he's one of the favorites. I honestly do.
I could even say, I would even say that. He's one of the favorites to win, but it's not like, he's got this. There's no way.
No, nobody's got this. You have to make it to the main first.
Yeah, so then I will say Ryan Mayfield.
I cannot disagree with you there.
Okay, then your turn.
Fend.
No, I disagree.
Okay.
He has the speed, but there's no way he will win this Nationals.
Okay.
No way.
Your turn.
Testament.
I mean, you can never doubt Testament. He did win last year. He was pretty savage on Facebook, but we'll touch about that on the rant later. He's probably got a chip on his shoulder right now after what happened last week. He was a bit hammered in the press, in the media, and for his pass on Lutz, which I think was totally fair.
Yeah, it was fair. Lutz left the door open.
Yeah, and
closed it.
But I can't say that he's not gonna win it.
Okay, so then we're at 4 now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 3 according to me because Fend isn't going to do it. But okay, so your turn again.
Tebow.
Does he still have his cast?
No, he got it off.
I'm on the edge with Tebow.
He did win the warm up here, like I said. So he goes in with some confidence on this track.
I mean, he can win. I would say yes. Mm-hmm. He can be one of the guys who can win.
All right, your turn.
Rivkin.
Why not? He's owed a big race win. He won it here in 2016. He's young. I really like what he's doing. He's really active on social media. I'm not saying that's going to mean he's going to do well. But, why not Rivkin?
Okay, so that's 6 for your turn.
Cole Ogden.
No, he's not going to win.
I think he can make top 3 if he's on form.
Yeah, but this is who can
I know,
win.
but
no, he's not going to.
He might surprise the world. Okay.
No,
I don't really have anybody else who I think can win this after that.
Drake?
I think he can make the main. I don't think he can win.
You don't think he can win?
No.
What is let's go check that ranking system of RC. That top 25 what is it? Top 25 RC? RC top 25? Fuck's sake. Top 25 RC.
Yes.
.com. Okay. So we said Mayfield, Testman, Tebow, Lutz. Well, we're not going to say Ogden, sorry. Rivkin, that's 5. And you said Fend, that's 6. So I have 5 drivers, you have 6 drivers who can win right now. Cavalieri, I say no. What do you say?
Well, you can never count the GOAT out, man. You never know. He might just do just to shut you up.
Yeah, but if you had to say right now, you had a lot of money on the line.
No, I
yes
wouldn't.
No?
I wouldn't bet on Cavalieri.
Okay, there we go. Who else? Bornhorst, Average Joe. There's no way.
I think he's gonna do well. I don't think he will win, but I think he can. I think he can win truck.
Average Joe is like Ogden.
Can we call him Joe, please? Just Joe Bornhorst.
No.
He like start.
Who else? That's it.
Yeah, I don't really have anybody else.
Are there any like surprises?
Well,
someone who could just win and it would be like amazing, like Alex K or something like that. Crazy.
Well, I think more of the question would be: do we have any young talent that we think will make the mains that we don't think will make it on a normal basis? I mean, what about CJ? Could this be his breakout race where he does really well? He can always win something.
Well, just like the tech now, the Kyosho should be okay at this race.
Yeah, this track's smooth
track.
Alex K also did make the main last year, but I don't think he can win this. He made the main last year. There are some young, fast Texas kids that race at this track. I don't know if they can make finals, but I definitely can see them in the semis, maybe. Maybe like a Dylan Caldwell. Maybe if Brandon Rood's stuff stays together, he can make it. I think Billy Easton can make the main. He'll be the oldest guy in the main. I definitely think he can make semis.
Who's going to do better, Easton or Drake?
It's a hard decision. I don't know.
I say Easton.
Yeah.
I say Easton's going to beat Drake. Do you want to bet?
Yeah, we can bet. What are we going to bet? Actually,
we're gonna.
But I kind of believe that Easton can beat him as well.
Let's bet $100.
Yeah, I don't have $100, buddy. If I had $100, I'd be closer to having AC in this room.
An AC is $100.
No, I'd be closer to having AC in this room.
You're an AC.
Sure.
Unit.
Let's bet an AC.
What do I win?
You win peace and quiet from me for a week.
I also got an AC unit.
You don't need AC in Finland.
Yeah, it's really warm here.
Yeah, it's probably like whatever. I don't know. That's a tough call, Drake. I think Drake is definitely like you can't count Drake out of not making the man. He's put in the work. He practices a lot. He's put in the time. He's definitely him and Billy Easton are definitely proving that whole theory about age makes you slower. Yes, they are not as fast as they used to be, but they still are good and they still can make mains, and we'll see. I don't know, but yeah, all right. I got Drake over Easton. Hopefully we can get Easton on this podcast. We've been trying for a long time, so we'll see what happens. Any special mentions you think will make the main, or you just ain't following it that good?
No, I don't know.
Who would you be surprised if they didn't? Well, anybody. Like Mayfield didn't make it last year. Like this is the beauty about the Nationals. I believe only TQ goes straight through. I think they still have that rule. But if you ain't TQ, you still have to race into the final, man.
Hey, you're asking a lot from Fend. He needs to finish a semifinal and the final. Come on.
You have no faith, man. You have no faith. No faith.
I don't have faith in Fend. It's not like Fend, but it's his...
I know what you mean.
Preparation. Or I don't know who prepares his equipment and tunes his engines and tightens his screws, but yeah.
I think it's going to be a great event. It's a great experience. I can't wait. I'm excited. The Nationals are coming. Then we have, it's a lot of racing coming up. Then we have Beta Design after this. Then the Euros are when? First week of July?
Yeah.
That's another exciting race. Then obviously we have RCGP first week of August. So yeah, excited. we're going to do
Okay. So make a timestamp now, and we conclude our picks, and then we can actually look back in the review and see who was closest.
All right. Well, we're going to do what? Top 5 or top 3?
Yeah. No. So first of all, who can actually win? I said Mayfield, Tessman. I was kind of halfway on Tebow, but I said Tebow in the end. Then I said Lutz and Rivkin. And you had those same guys, but you also added Fend and who else? Did you add someone else? Ogden. Yeah. You're high. So anyway.
I wish I was.
Top 3, I said Tessman, Lutz, Mayfield. What's your top 3?
Is that your order or just your top 3?
Yeah. That's my top 3 order.
Man, it's so hard. Fend, Lutz, Mayfield. Even though I'm pretty sure that...
Dude, you picked Fend and Lutz in a top 3.
Even though I think that they can... that can easily be reversed anyway, that top 3 right there.
Yeah, they could easily be like 12th and 13th because they don't finish.
That too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a bit nervous about my Lutz pick just because of that. But still, he's been on it this year, so that's why I put him in there.
Actually,
and TQ.
Oh yeah,
I think is going to be Lutz.
Really? I can see that.
Yeah, I really think Lutz is going to TQ.
Possibly. Actually, I'm going to have a giveaway for that as well. Whoever gets TQ gets a car stand from JBRC Designs. So
okay.
And then
you have my address.
No, you're not getting one of them. You
Why?
live too far away. You have to wait till you come to America to get it.
Too far away.
This is for the viewers, not for you anyway. This is for the listeners of the podcast. We're giving away that cool skateboard deck, and we're giving away one of the... Actually, how should we do the skateboard deck? I want it to be hard, so you got to get the top 5 in order.
I don't know, but you know what?
What?
I'm actually on this list. You're able to click like see top 50, and I'm 40th.
Woo! You're moving up in the world.
Wow. Let's see. Billy Easton ahead of me, Lee Martin, Cole Tollard.
Is Max on there yet?
Valente is ahead of me. How can Valente be ahead of me? What has he raced?
Maybe, I don't know.
Musa is still on the list.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, we just need 2 more RCGP races, and let's see how much I bump up.
Yeah. All right, so that's our Nats preview for this week. We went on a little bit longer than usually. Too bad we couldn't get Jeff on her because I'd like to get his. We did some picks last week, but he's on vacation, so I think he's traveling home today. So I don't know if it's hard. It's going to be difficult to get a hold of him, but we will try to get him on for the recap and talk about it next week. Hopefully, we can do that Monday and just release a whole podcast of the just on the Nationals.
You know who'll do well at the Nationals?
Who, Joseph?
Cole Tollard. He'll do well.
Okay. Is that one of your dark horse picks just to do well?
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't argue with that. I hope CJ does well. I hope one of the local Texas guys make it into the finals. So we'll see. And I think the 2 fastest kids in Texas are Dylan Caldwell and Brandon Rose. So we shall see. It's going to be a lot of good racing. I think it's just going to be great. We have a nice little team going there. It's going to be good. They're going to have fun. And good stuff. So, hey, Joseph, enough about this. Let's get on to the Assault RC Invisible Speed segment. Okay?
Okay.
You are now locked in to the Assault RC Invisible Speed segment. Check out AssaultRC.com for the latest products for all your performance RC needs. Featuring the best lubes and specialty tools on the market. Use promo code LEFTY19 at checkout for 10% off your entire order at AssaultRC.com.
This is the Assault RC Invisible Speed segment with Joseph Quagrain. We just finished talking to Joseph, so I'm not going to say hello to him again. But this is the segment dedicated to setup help. If you guys have any questions, please post them. Send me a message. It's better to post them on the Assault thread. And if you're trying to stump Joseph, you have a questionable setup, just post it there and we'll get to it eventually. So thank you to Assault RC for coming on and sponsoring this segment. Remember, guys, go to assaultrc.com, type in Lefty19, and you get 10% off your order. Show Assault RC some love and show the podcast some love by using the coupon code as well. So, Joseph, this week's question is from Isaac Paulson. He's from Colorado. Good guy. And this is something that I say because I've heard you say it and I understand what you mean by it. But he wants to know, what do you actually mean by practice with a purpose?
Yeah, I mean, what I mean by that is what a lot of people do in RC and anything really, any sport, any activity that you practice at is, I think they don't bother actually doing something to the point where they are improving. They just go through the motions. So when you start racing RC, just driving around the track is a challenge. So just going out there and driving will benefit you because you'll, figure out how to do a jump, figure out how to do a corner, get around the track without crashing. That's fine. But at a certain point, you reach a level where you can drive around the track. And you can drive around the track all day. And at that point, it doesn't help you anymore to just go to the track and drive. There's no progress, really. At that point, you actually need to think about what you're doing. And I think for most people, it's probably more valuable to focus on how they practice than focus on learning setup. So if there's someone out there listening now who truly wants to become a better driver and get better results, this is what I would suggest that they do. They run a car that has good support. So you can find some good setups online and a good starting setup, something that works. Maybe there's even a good local driver that runs the car, and so you really know sort of what to run, what setup to run, and what tires to run. When you have a good basic setup, just stick to that. Just maintain the car, make sure the defaults are good and everything's built correctly and the car is in working order, and start focusing and putting effort into how you practice and how you drive. So when you go to the track, do 5-minute runs. So you can time it on your radio, for example, if you don't have a mechanic. Of course, if you have a mechanic, that's even better. But if you don't, you program your transmitter so you can time a 5-minute run. On the Sanwa M12 or whatever this is that I have now, you can do it so you can use your thumb. You're driving normally and you just click a button with your thumb. And you can set it so you start and then it will run for 5 minutes, and 10 seconds before the end, it will start vibrating and beeping. So you know it's going to end. And then after 10 beeps, you press the button and it stops the time. So then you have your 5-minute run time. I do it always when I pass myself on the front straight. So that's when I start. I do every lap, and then I also end it after 5 minutes. So what you should start doing is you should start doing 5-minute runs until you can do it consistently. So every time you go out there, you do 9 laps in 5 minutes and 20 seconds. So you can just repeatedly do the same thing over and over and over. And then that's already going to take some time for most people to achieve, I'm pretty sure, especially if you've never done something like this. But already this exercise of timing your laps and timing a 5-minute time and trying to find your pace and then to do it consistently, that's going to help you, because now you'll be concentrating on what you're doing and you'll have a target. Just going out there and driving is not going to help you improve anymore. So now with this 5-minute target, it will help. So then after you've done this is when you can then start really focusing on your driving and trying to improve. So you know now that you do 9 laps in 5 minutes 20. So then you can take a section of the track and try to drive it differently. Watch how other drivers are doing it. Or maybe you notice that you're going a bit wide in this section. So you try slowing down earlier, doing the corner tighter, trying a different line. Like, you try different things in different sections of the track, and then you try and do that repeatedly every lap, and you see how the time changes. So you get a sense of what you are doing on the track and how it affects your lap times and your 5-minute time. This is also how you can test tires. So you try different tires, and again you see what happens to my times, or you change your setup, and again you can see what happens to the times. But most people never bother doing this. They just go to the track, they drive a bit and talk with their friends, and that's it. And that's fine. If it's just your hobby and that's what you enjoy, great. But if it's a hobby where you want to improve and you want to be better, then you truly need to practice with a purpose. That's going to be far more valuable than buying the latest option part or putting the latest setup on your car. So that's what I mean by practicing with a purpose.
Yeah. Or making a small change and then going out and seeing if it actually works. This is the only way you can do it. So, yeah.
Yeah, because if you just make changes but you have nothing to sort of compare it to, you have no benchmark set, then it's just a guessing game. I mean, you do it 5 times, you get 5 different results.
Yeah.
But when it's consistent, when you know your lap times, you know your 5-minute time, you have this feeling like you can just go out and drive and you sort of feel what your lap time is. That's when you'll notice these small changes.
Yes, for sure. And remember, it's something that I always tell people, because I've learned this from you. Small changes, one at a time. Don't do a whole bunch, because then you don't know what you've done. So make a small change, go do your 5 minutes, maybe do 10, 15 minutes, and say, okay, let me try this, and then come back, you know?
Yeah, and like I said, it's not necessary at first. Most drivers out there who aren't paid to race, who aren't professionals, aren't 100% sponsored, don't travel all around the world racing. Most of these guys will definitely benefit more from just focusing on their driving instead of changing setup.
Mm-hmm. I agree, man. And it could be something as simple as you're just going too fast into the corner. Brake before the corner, turn, and then go. Because I think people feel that sliding, drifting around the corner is the fastest way. No, the fastest way around the corner is on acceleration. You know? So, yeah, it's something, you know, it looks cool when you're going wide and you're flinging dirt and all that stuff. But the fastest way around the track is the shortest way. And the shortest way around the track is the inside line. And that's coming from I can, you know, I'm no professional. I barely race, as that was mentioned to me this week. And, yeah, I think people need to just go out there and focus on one thing at a time when they practice, make changes, try it out, then go again. And stop making so much changes that you don't even know what you've done to your car. Or just stop going out there doing laps to do laps. Yes, laps is good, but do them if, like you said, and reward yourself. Hey, like you always say, hey, I beat my lap time. I get a beer, you know? There we go.
Yeah, it actually, if you are competitive, it's more fun to practice too when you have a goal and you have something you try to beat. It makes it a lot more interesting. That's why I don't even really enjoy, like, when we do our road trips and stuff and we go to some track, like, I don't enjoy that really. Like, if we just go there for one day, it does nothing for me. Like, I'm kind of over it. But if I go to a track and I spend a week there, then I'm interested. Because the first day, you kind of learn the track and get in a groove. Second day, you really kind of know where you're at. You can do your 5-minute runs consistently. The track is consistent. Then it starts being fun. Because then you can try and improve driving, setup, everything, engine tune. Yeah, then that's what I enjoy. Just going to the track to drive, I don't even really enjoy it.
Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, there you have it. That's practicing with a purpose. I think all of us can learn from that, no matter what you're racing in RC or what you're doing, period, in life. So thank you, Joseph, for that bit of knowledge. It's something that I preach myself. Thank you, Assault RC, for bringing us the Invisible Speed segment. And like I said, guys, remember, go to assaultrc.com and use the promo code LEFTY19 to save some money. All right, Joseph, I am going to talk to Reno now. Your favorite French driver.
Yeah, Frenchie.
Yeah. Good stuff. So, hey, everybody, I know I forgot to mention who we're actually interviewing in the introduction because I got kind of excited, but I thought I'd try it this way as well. This week's guest on episode 30 is the Shark, the man himself, Reno Savoya, 3-time European champion, all-around really good driver. I've never talked to Reno before in my life. I've seen him at a couple of races. I never have even said hello to him. So I was excited when he said he would come on the podcast, and I got to talk to him, and I appreciate that he came on, and I really enjoyed chatting with him. He was very open about a lot of things. I have a whole new respect for Reno as a man, as a person. His story is very interesting. He's persistent. I think when others would have given up, he kept on going, and I think you guys will enjoy this interview. And thank you to Reno Savoya for coming on. And I like to, next time I see you at a race, man, I'll come up and shake your hand and talk to you. So here it is, everybody, Reno Savoya, our guest this week, coming to you all the way from France, the Shark himself, TLR driver, Reno Savoya. Hello, Reno. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. It's great to be there today with you guys.
Yeah, how's things going in France?
It's great. Like I said, the weather's been nice lately, so we can go to the track pretty much every day. So we're getting ready for the big events for the summer, and everything's awesome.
What part of France do you live in?
I live in Lyon, so it's like Middle East, close to Italy.
Okay. Do you get to go over to Italy to the tracks over there a lot, or do you primarily stay in France?
Not as much as I want, actually. Padova, for example, the really nice indoor facility is like 6-7 hours drive. So the border is really close, but the nice tracks are at least 3 hours drive.
Okay.
And the race schedule is pretty busy, so I might do some other races by the end of the year in Italy. The level is always super high in that country, so it's always nice competition.
Yeah, well, you got to go there soon anyway because you have the Euros coming up at the Ungaro Ring, which should be interesting. Yeah, so for any of you guys that don't know who Reno Savoya is, you probably don't know anything about 8-scale racing, but he's a TLR driver. He's a 3-time European champion. 3-time in a row European champion.
Yeah, back to back.
Which I don't think has been done or repeated.
No, I'm the only one, and I think I don't know. We need to check the statistics, but with the Euros mains, I think Robert Badie might be in the lead, but I might be second because for the last 10 years, almost 15 years, maybe, I've been in the main. So.
Yeah, well,
I've been there.
Yeah, you have. It's you know what? It's really hard to find statistics. Like we need to have a website with just statistics of RC because I was doing research for this, and it's like I have to go to so many different, mostly Neo, but it's very hard to look up a lot of the information. But I saw that you had made I think it was 8 at this in the interview I saw was 8 times, and that was maybe 4 years ago. So yeah, very consistent, man. You definitely make every race you go to, you pretty much make the main.
I mean, it's not the goal, but yeah, I've been there for a while, and when you are in the main, everything can happen. Back in the days when I was like racing my first world championship, for example, the guy who would win is the guy who wouldn't have any problems. So you would have like 1 chance out of 10 for winning. Right now, it's a little bit.
Everybody's so fast, man.
Yeah, competition is super tough.
I think right now, the competition in RC it's incredible. Like especially in 8-scale, in Nitro and whatnot. It's amazing the amount of fast fast guys that are out there that have been out there for a long time, and you have these young guys coming up who are fast. Like you have a big group coming out of Europe. You have a group coming out of America as well. A younger group, like these kids are like 12, 13 to 16. And actually, two of them are really fast. They race TLRs. The Fullers, they're really good. Like I was talking to their dad.
Yeah, they are.
And those are two kids you have to watch. So it's going to be interesting to see if these young kids stick it out, which I hope they do. What RC is going to look like in 5 to 6 years' time. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Fullers, I've been following them for a while. They have really nice family. And, I think to be fast right now, it's all about the confidence and, the atmosphere. When you go to a race, you still have fun and, you have not so much pressure that some other guys put them on themselves. And, yeah.
I agree. Okay, so I thought you was young. I mean, you look good for your age. You're still young. You're only 32 years old. I thought you was younger than that. But you've been in RC so long. I'm like, he's got to be old. Like, I thought you was older because you've been in it so long. But you're 32 years old. You've been in this game for quite a long time. How old was you when you started?
I started at 5 with my dad, actually. So he was like a local racer. Not really famous, nothing, just the racer. And, we had the lunch break at the races on Sunday. And by the time those guys were eating, I was like walking behind the car when I was 5. So with like the extra car my dad had. And I started racing at 6, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've been through the races like that for a while. He was racing, I was racing too. And at a time, I got a little bit better than him, or at least the same level. So it got really tough to get both cars ready for one-day race. And, he said, okay, I'm going to quit. And I'm going to just pit for you and see how it does. And we, like, fulfilled like that for a few years until we got some big wins.
What cars was this Nitro? What you got started with, or was it electric?
Yeah, I started with 1.8 Nitro 4-wheel drive, like the class I'm still racing right now, and it's my favorite. But it was like a Magnum Force.
Okay, I was
super old heavy car.
Yeah, this is like 90s then, early 90s. I want to say.
Yeah, it was 93, 94.
Yeah, that was like Hunter days and whatnot. I remember those cars. Yeah, good stuff. All right, so when did you kind of realize that you was really good at this, and this is possibly something that you can do for a living?
For a living, I mean, it didn't really hit me before I was like 18 or 19, because my parents always told me, like, you wouldn't do that as a job, because back home, it's not like in the US where like you have more professional drivers. I mean, back home, I think in France right now, I'm like almost the only one that has really got a paycheck for racing.
Right.
But yeah, it was obvious that I should go to school, get my degree, get everything done properly, and if I want to go racing, I would go racing. But it's gonna be my choice,
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I went to the first national. I think I was 11, I think, something like that. So the first B nationals, and we went there to have a check, like what my level would be like, and obviously I won local races, but it was just local, so you never know. And we went to the B nationals, and I was in quarterfinal. The weather was pretty bad, and I bumped into the main. I got 6th. My dad was like, "Oh yeah, you got lucky because it was rainy, blah blah blah." So we went to the second round, because the nationals is 5 rounds back home. So we went to the second round, and I got 6th once again. So he said, that's maybe your position right now. It's not maybe only luck.
Right.
So, yeah, we did that. And the year after, I went for the title, and I won it. So,
did you get sponsored at this time? Who was your first really big sponsor when you was young?
I think my first really big sponsor was Medial Pro back in the days.
I remember those tires.
Yeah, they were the tires. They were like flying. It's Sebastian Leonard right now. It's Six Mix brand.
Okay.
They changed the name, but it's pretty much the same people behind that. So it was the first people that said, okay, we want you in the team. We're going to give you 3 sets of tires if you're in the main. If you're not, you're going to pay for it. It was a pretty simple deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People would freak out now if you said that to them.
Yes. And it's, what, I mean, I'm playing the old dude right now, but I've got so many guys, so many kids every day knocking on my door like, oh, can I get a sponsorship? Like, how long have you been racing for? Oh, it's my first year. I'm going to win locally and I want a full sponsorship.
Yeah.
I'm going to give, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I know. Trust me. I know the pain.
I mean, it's funny because, when I explain them that the way I built my career was like the company was getting to me. It was not me knocking on the doors to get sponsorships.
Yes. Wow, people would freak out if you told them, I'll give you 3 sets of tires, but if you don't make the main, you got to win. Oh, they would.
Yes.
That's
exactly.
pretty. I think we need to get back to that at some point.
I mean, it's a commercial situation. Like, you make me win money, so I give you products.
Yeah, pretty
it's
much.
Like, you pay for promotion, it's advertising, so it's the same thing. And it's companies behind that, so they have to sell. So yeah, it's funny.
Did you make the main though?
Yeah.
So you didn't have to pay for
I
them.
did that. Yeah. I mean, it was the first year, and then after that we got a better deal and better deal and better deal. But at that time I was like French national champion.
Yes.
I was 14 years old, so the youngest at that time. And I had a sponsorship with Kyosho and I had 20% off.
Yeah. Of that, people, I get that. And just for people that don't understand, in France they have an A championship and a B championship as well.
Yes, exactly.
So, you won that championship, then you move up to the A class. When was your first big international win? I would say outside of France.
Outside of France, I would say maybe the World's Warm Up in Charlotte.
Okay. But you had you did the Euro B, right? Before that, or no?
No, it didn't exist back in the days. So, I went to the Euros before that. But I think, end of 2007, we had the World's Warm-Up. And, that was maybe my biggest win.
Okay, I forgot. You won that. Hey, that was a lot of fast guys. That was Taylor James and all those guys.
Yeah, I mean... all the Americans were there, and the rain was terrible. And I started in 1028th final, I think. Like, would be like a F or G main.
Yeah.
And I bumped all the way to the main and won it in front of Trui and every other guys were there. So
I remember that race. I remember that track. It was a great track, great facility with Lance Nork and those guys.
Yes.
Good guys.
Yes. Really, really awesome. It was my first experience in the US, actually, I think. So it was really, really good.
Okay. So, when did you win the Euros then? The actual you won, because you won it 3 times. Your first win, I believe, was 2008 as well.
Yes, it was 2008. It was in Creta. It was maybe the best 8-scale track we've ever had. I mean, not the track itself, but the facility. We had the track, like 200 meters would be like 100 feet, something like that. From the track, we had the hotel, and another 100 feet, we had the beach. It was amazing.
Where was this to?
Creta, Greece.
Oh, Greece. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice. So you won there. 2009. Where did you win in 2009?
Austria. I think it was Voldling. Yeah, really nice track also.
And then 2010
was in Portugal.
Yeah, Portugal has some good tracks too. There's a lot of good racing in Europe. Period. Like, each country is different.
Yeah. Every country has many really nice tracks. I mean, mostly 8-scale for sure, but I think that's what makes those young Italians quicker, for example, because they have the playground.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, of course, they're definitely common. There's a select group of young kids in each country. I feel like Spain has some, England has some, France has a few, like Zach Ryan. Like, this is Zach or Ryan? I can't remember. Ryan, I think.
Ryan Medjubi.
Yeah,
the Medjubi brothers. Yes.
I know Tom Robin's not young, but he's still very good. I don't.
Yeah, he's really talented.
Yeah.
We have many young talented drivers. I think even younger than that.
Yeah.
Right now we have younger kids. I honestly think that it may be step one generation. Like back home we've been 4 drivers that were really quick for a while, and then young talents are still there, but they're getting older right now. And now we have kids that are really between 12 and 15 that are super quick, and they have like the support of the family, and they're gonna be there the next few years for sure.
It's that PlayStation generation, man. PlayStation makes you faster.
Yeah, that's maybe that.
Okay.
Yep.
So, as you said earlier, you are a thermal engineer.
Yep.
You went to school. How long was you in school? Was you doing RC while you was in school as well?
Yeah, I mean, I've been racing. Honestly, my dad really helped me a lot because I went to school until I was 22, 23. So, yeah, I've been doing both. So, at school during the week and racing in the weekend. So, my dad was wrenching on my cars, getting everything ready. I was just getting on board, and then we were driving to the races. So I was not really practicing at that time. I was just showing up at the races, and it was like practicing.
Now, did you actually have a job as a thermal? I didn't even know what a thermal engineer does, but did you have a job doing that type of work?
Yeah. I was at school, and then I worked for a year in the company where I did my degree. So he was like in the big buildings, for example. I was like assisting constructors to make the building more energy efficient, and save some energy.
Got you.
With the building and all that. So
okay. So when did you decide that, all right, I am going to leave my safe, probably a well-paying job as a thermal engineer, to race RC cars?
I think it was in 2009. I went to Silver State. And, because I didn't have that many holidays from my everyday job. So I took days off and days off and days off. Nope. I mean, obviously I was not getting paid because, in French, you have like 5 weeks of paid holidays per year. And then when you get through over those five weeks, you're obviously not getting paid. So back in the days, I was like getting those days off, and I went to Silver State, get back from Silver State, got my paycheck from the company. I got like $500, maybe $400. And I was like, what's the point to do everything bad? Like, I was not 100% into racing because, I was at work, and I was not 100% at work because I was racing. So I was like, what's the point right now? I should do something professionally, either my job or racing. So it started like that in 2009, and I say, okay, now I got a paycheck from RC companies to race, and the salary was getting better and better every single year. So I said, okay, let's give it a try.
Yeah, it must have been a serious leap of faith. Like, I mean, going into let's be realistic. Like, becoming doing anything in the RC industry is always jumping in feet first, or head first, they like to say. So
yeah, my dad actually was pushing me like for years to be like a better driver and everything. He didn't really want me to be a professional driver. When I told him that I'm gonna quit my job and just be a professional driver, he was getting mad.
Yeah, I'm sure, because he like, if people think, like, one of the big misconception is that everybody's making all this big money in the RC world, and it isn't like that. Like, it's a lot of work, man. People just don't realize it. So, all right. So you're a pro driver. You're driving from Mugen. This is like, I want to say your golden years. Like, you were young. You won 3 straight Euros. You're on fire. You're driving from Mugen. How did you happen to end up running Mugen, by the way? How did getting sponsored by them and being a driver for them come about?
It started, I think, in 2005. The French distributor wanted me as a driver, and I was not even a French national champion at that time, just a B national, like the lower level, but not the A level. And they wanted me to drive with the Mugen car, and at that time I had a chrono car, I think. And I was like, yeah, the car looks awesome. The people were focused and yeah, into the racing. So yeah, it definitely was a big choice, a big step forward. And it started with travel expenses, and then I went with Europe the year after, and then with Japan for a few years. So I climbed all the way to working in direct with Japan, and it was for sure one of the best experiences I had in my RC career.
Yeah, you was on fire at that time. You was doing well. You, like I said, people may think this is something, but three in a row, being a multi-European champion isn't easy. Period. Being it 3 times in a row.
For us, it's like for you guys winning the World Nationals.
Yeah,
like 3 years in a row.
Yeah,
it's like you have so many fast guys, so much competition, and it's still a motor race, so anything can happen, dramas and it's tough. So yeah, it was for sure something.
Yeah. And yeah, I remember this time in RC too. I wasn't really racing, but I just was following RC. I remember you made the finals that year as 2008 at the Worlds as well, which was good.
I got third. Yes.
Yeah, like you just like, at that time, not many Europeans were coming to America at all. Not like it is now. So
no, for sure. Like I remember the first time I went to the DNC was at the Nitro Pit. The first year at the Nitro Pit, I think it was in 2007 or 8, and there was only Yannick and I think, as the Europeans, and we were not really showing great because obviously at that time our tracks were not even close to what you guys were running, with many jumps, and because the French Federation, had the rule for so many years that we couldn't do more than 5 jumps per lap.
Really? What was their reason for that?
I don't know, security for the marshals or something like that. So when we were showing up at the races and, at the DNC, and it was like 30 jumps or something like that, it was pretty tough in the beginning for sure.
But one thing I've learned with the European guys is you guys have learned to carry, your tracks allow you to run, carry more corner speed. And that's what wins races as well.
Yeah, high-speed sweepers and yes.
Okay. So everything's fine with Mugen. You're doing well. At this time, was this the time that you moved to Australia as well, or?
Yeah. I became a pro in, I think, I would say April or May, and then I moved to Australia in September.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
How long did you stay in Australia for?
A year. About a year.
So, hey, guys, in case you think I'm crazy, because I keep saying it, like, if you go to Australia, you got to go cage diving great white sharks. Reno has actually done it.
Yes, I did. It was one of my dreams. I mean, I've been fascinated by sharks since I'm a young kid, and that's why I got the shark logo on my body, and that's my nickname also.
Yeah, it's badass.
I wanted to do it. I'm not scared. I wanted to do it, and I spent a week on a boat to do it.
Really? You was on a boat for a week?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, maybe one of the best experiences in my life. It was. I had to get a license to dive because I was not a diver.
Okay.
So first, I had to move to Adelaide because I was not living in this area. I was in the Great Barrier Reef myself, so I had to fly, move to Adelaide for a week to get my diver license, and then get on a boat for a week. So I was off 2 weeks for that, and it was awesome. I mean, I got my license, and then I went there, and it's cage diving, but on the ocean floor.
Oh, they put you on the ocean floor.
Yes.
Oh, how deep down did you go?
It's 20 plus meters.
Okay, so 60 feet, roughly.
Yeah,
over 60 feet. No, 70 feet. 70 feet, roughly.
Yeah.
What? I thought they hung you off the boat. I didn't know they put you on the...
Yeah, I mean, they do that in South Africa, but it's, to be, showing aggressive sharks and, being impressive. But what I've been doing there was, having the real shark experience with people that were, protecting them, tagging them, and, it was a reserve, so, we couldn't feed them. We were just, just
watching them in a natural...
to watch them.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you Do you still dive to this day? Do you still enjoy?
Yeah. Every single time when I'm in holidays, I was in the Canary Island last year and I dove, and I wish I could do more, but with the racing schedule, it's pretty tough. But yeah, every single time I'm in a foreign country, I try to dive. Yes.
Yeah, I've been diving a few times. I grew up on an island in Bermuda, so we was always in the water. But we never really went diving and snorkeling. We used to go swimming all the time. And my a buddy of mine actually came to visit me here in the DR, and he got into it here, and he's an avid diver. And I watch, he's taking me diving when I went back home, and he's super into it. And I look at all his videos and stuff. I think it's if you want to try, if anybody wants to try diving, they should actually go try it, or at least snorkeling, because it's a whole different world. It's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So this is where things get interesting in your career. You were doing well at Mugen. I think you was there for 6 years.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I think that's it.
And then this is around the time, I remember this time, I was actually in Ecuador working at this time. And me and my buddy were sitting by the river after work one day, and we was like, oh, what cars are we going to get? Because it was JQ's car, first car was coming out. Durango was coming out. And I think maybe there was one more car coming out. And this time, I think Durango went and signed you, Lutz, a whole bunch of guys for these big, long-term contracts. I remember it made so much news. How did the move from Mugen to Durango come about?
I was really confident with the Mugen car and the Mugen people also. I really loved working with the Japanese. They're really straightforward, really respectful, and I had a really good relationship with them. But the problem was, as a professional driver, I was at the track 4 times a week. I was getting bored, honestly. The car was awesome. I was driving. I was fighting with the fastest guys in the world, but I wanted to be involved. I want to be part of it. And the way the Japanese work, I'm pretty sure it's the same with Kanai and the Kyosho guys. It's like they do the stuff. Some guys have some prototype parts, but it's just a few, and it's not a big amount of parts. And they know what they're doing, don't get me wrong, but they're not really using their professional drivers. It was like that back in the days. They're not really using their professional drivers to test the products as much as, I was expecting it.
Right.
So I wanted to be part of it more. And, the Durango deal showed up, and it was obviously the factory that was making a car. So I would be involved every day to get the car the way, not really I wanted it to be, but at least to make it better, to make it faster, and it was a really exciting project.
Yes. They hit it hard. They signed you, Lutz. I think they had Boots.
Boots also at the same time, yes.
Yeah, they had a lot of money to spend at that time. And yeah, it was exciting times.
At least they thought they had a lot, because it didn't really last long. But
yeah. That's the thing. And you moved to Texas when this happened. What?
Yeah, it was pretty much at the same time.
Yeah.
But our visa in Australia was over, and we were like a bit of family sick, and we wanted to go back home, so we went back home a couple of months. And at that time, I was also a professional driver for RB Products Company, and they were having awesome engines, and
RB's always been great.
Yes, they wanted to do bigger, and they wanted to do better in the U.S. They had somebody in Texas that was working for them, but it was tough. Like, the communication was not really good. So that's why they were like, oh, okay, do you want to move there and take over the company and see if we can do better and everything? So it was the perfect timing, because I didn't really want to go back home and, get in the mold and do your everyday job. Or, being a professional driver is not like the average everyday job, but, going back home and going back to the mold. And so it was the perfect timing, and we moved to America, to Texas, because the company was there, and it was awesome.
What part of Texas was you in?
We were in Dallas.
Okay.
I mean, between Dallas and Fort Worth.
So back in that time, what tracks were you hitting? Was Indy RC was still there? Did you ever get there?
Yeah. I was racing on Tuesdays or Thursdays sometimes in the RC, and there was another one. I can't really remember the name right now, but there was in the RC where we were racing indoor, and there was another one where we were racing outdoor. It was Mike's Hobby Shop, I think.
Mike's is done in Houston. It's covered. Maybe it was.
No, it's not this one. It's not in Houston. It was in the Dallas area for sure.
Yeah, Indy RC is a good facility. The people that own it are very nice people. Alex and Tej. I've stopped there a few times, myself and Joseph. They have a really, really good club scene going on, and really, it's really nice there. How was your
time? I think the ownership changed since 2011, but yeah.
Yeah, they're nice people. Alex and Tej. Alex is always at the. He does all the big races, like as a hobby shop. Great guy.
Yep.
How was living in Texas? Like, you come from Australia, you're from France, and you moved to Texas. How was that?
It was the American dream. I mean, I bought the Charger, and it was a kind of fun.
Did you get to shoot some guns?
No, actually, no. I was not really into it.
Yeah.
I was more about speeding and going to court, and those kind of.
You was getting speeding tickets.
Yeah, 2 days in a row, and the sheriff took me and said, "Oh, you're gonna go to court," and it was pretty impressive. It was 6 a.m. It was dark. It was an experience.
Yeah, you don't mess around with those Texas state police, man. Yeah. When I drive through Texas, I make sure I follow all traffic rules. Keep it.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. So you're in Texas. You're working for RB. Is RB concept is RB still around?
It went bankrupt.
Okay.
Like a couple of years ago. I mean, they did a few big projects like getting a car, ready to run.
Yes, I remember that.
Things, and it went down. Yeah.
Man, those were the engines to have back in the day. The WS72s or whatever. Oh,
they were so awesome. Yes.
And Rody Roman, he was doing his stuff. He's still doing some OS engines and whatnot.
Yeah, he's doing his own brand right now. Yep.
So when did you see the writing on the wall for Durango? Because that that just about lasted a year. What happened there?
Yeah, I started in January, and I was like, okay, we're gonna go there, and I mean, I've been to the Montpellier Grand Prix in February. I got third. It was like, okay, that's not a really bad result for a car we don't know. And then I could see from the beginning that the car was one of the nicest car ever. Honestly, the design was amazing, but they've made some choices on the weight distribution and the center CVAs that were weird and that were like counterproductive. So as one of the drivers that was involved in the development, I was like, this is wrong. We shouldn't go that way. So we had a meeting after the Neo Buggy race in April, and it was obviously a really nice meeting. Jorn Newman was there. Kyle McBride was also driving with Durango.
I forgot how many guys they signed. Jorn,
yes. Kyle. Yeah. So we had a meeting all together, and we were like having nice ideas, and we were all happy about that and moving forward. So we had really nice ideas, but the problem was there had many kits in stock also. So it's like also
you have to,
the industry. It's a company. Sometimes you have really good ideas, but you can't really release it. It's the same with TLR today. Sometimes we test a few things. We said, wow, it's awesome, but we still have to race with the stock car because that's what we sell, and that's what we have to promote. So they were stuck with the car we had, and we couldn't do anything to the car. So we had the Euros in July, I think, and it was one of my biggest deception because I was 3 times European champ. I was in quarterfinal, in qualifiers, and I stripped servo horn after like 2 or 3 minutes in the quarters.
Wow. So you was disappointed.
It was bad.
Yeah, you was one of the favorites going in, new car. I can see that. It seems to me like I see where you're thinking too. You're like, all right, I want to not just be a driver. I want to be involved in this industry somehow, some way for my future.
Yeah, and some of the guys I think that are pro driver right now, they just want to show up to the racing
Yeah.
and relax all week. I mean, it's not my point of view. I want to be part of it. I want to be involved. I mean, for me, I take it as a job. So from Monday to Friday, I'm like focused on making things better, and then
Yeah.
I'm racing on weekend.
Yes.
So that's what I say sometimes. It's even harder than a real job because you can't really back off. You
Yep.
like on from Monday to Sunday.
Man, I'm not even a pro driver, and I'm working from the time my phone's on to the time it's off every day. So I get it. So you had a big disappointment at the Euros, and then things just kind of fell apart from there, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I told them that I couldn't drive the car anymore the way it was, and I think they also had some money problems, and they say, "Oh, if you want, you can leave, no problem.
Wow.
We can break your contract, no problem." And before going Durango, I was already in a chat with X-Ray, so it was X-Ray or Durango when I was leaving Mugen, and I went back to X-Ray and said my deal with Durango is over, so we can start chatting again, and I went with X-Ray.
Yeah. I just before we touch on the X-ray, I was just thinking, like, I forgot how many drivers Durango signed. It's kind of like S-Works has done over the last year. They've signed like a lot of guys. They got a really big team. Their car is good too. They're doing well. They're really good.
I mean, the car is good. I've been chatting with S-Works for a while also now. I know Max, and I mean, I trust him to do like what he's supposed to do with the company. It's not like Durango back in the days. Like
Right.
they had a nice dream and they wanted to feel it. I think as the owner of the company, Max right now has
and he's
a
into
different
racing.
way of thinking, and
Yeah, he's into racing. He's very forward thinking, I think. I actually I need to get him on the other podcast I have for RCGP to talk to him. He seems like a very
but you
smart
never
guy.
know. I mean, you never know in the RC industry right now. It's so
funny.
weird,
It's so
and
weird. It's so
We've heard so many things about other brands that you never know what's going to happen in the next 5 years. So
Yeah. Well, I think they're growing. I mean, definitely in Europe and Asia, they're definitely a growing brand, especially in Europe more than anything. And he's, like I said, he's a very smart guy and very race orientated. I think when you're race orientated, things happen. So good stuff. So X-Ray. Now you get to go to the luxury car. Did you do a advert with a suit on as well? I can't remember. I think so.
Oh yeah, I got a book back home with really nice pictures they did for me, like for Christmas, or with all the pictures we've taken from the photo shoot, and yeah, it was awesome.
So now you're at X-Ray, working with Uraj. That's how you say his name, Uri.
Yep.
How was that? Because X-Ray changes. I mean, I think X-Ray has the ability to do a lot of running changes because they do a lot of their own. They do all their own machining, and they have their own. They do everything right out of there.
They have one of the biggest facility, I think, for production, and it was like working with Durango, but with actually that was the situation that was working the way I wanted also. So that was really what I was expecting. We were like going to the factory with Martin and Uri, and we were practicing. At that time, they were working on the new 4-wheel drive 10 scale. They were coming on the 10 scale market, and we were going for a full week at the factory. They had their indoor tracks, so we were there from morning to evening practicing, testing. We were like, "Oh, Uri, we need 2 millimeter longer arms." Okay, no problem. You're gonna have it tomorrow on your desk, and
Wow.
we had the arms.
That's
It was-
impressive.
I mean, it's if you want to develop a car, that's the way I've seen it the best. I mean, they had the production, they had everything. I mean, they still have it, obviously, but I'm not part of it anymore. But they had everything to make it work.
Yes.
So if you had the ideas, okay, we make it. And then it was really good relationship with Uri and the guys. Uri, I always told him like he looks like my grandpa, so I always take him as my grandpa, and we have a really good relationship right now when we see each other at the races. So
He's been into this since the 70s, man.
yeah, I mean, if you hear his story about the communismus and everything that went through his country back in the days. I mean, you can only respect that guy.
Yeah, I've never met him. I've never talked to him. I have to do that one day and see what's going on, because he's super smart too. Another race orientated company. And so you did have some success. You did start gaining some success at X-Ray. You stayed there for what, 3 years?
I'd say 4. Yeah.
Okay. So
4 years.
What was some of your successes? I mean, you had success, but not like you did at Mugen. Why do you think you wasn't able to repeat your success at Mugen with X-Ray?
I think it was just luck. If David would crash once more, I would be 4 times European champion right now.
Which one was that?
I think it was 2013 Euros. I got second on the 7/10 of a second from David Ronfolk.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, I was in the lead and I crashed, and the marshal didn't see me. I mean, I'm gonna play crying baby for once, but yeah, I mean, if I wouldn't crash in that tire, I can still see that image in my mind.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't crash, I would be European champion 4 times right now. But it would have been a nice success for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So what ended? How did you did have something, like I said, you did have success. You had a great working relationship with X-Ray, but in 2014 you split from them and went to HB. I was reading, you said you had a business opportunity and whatnot, so maybe you could go into a little bit more detail of why you left X-Ray and what was your plan.
Yeah, at that time I had a business partner, and they had really nice ideas about making website for selling HB stuff in Europe. So we were supposed to create HB Europe and make it work. And it's one of the part of my career when I'm not a big fan of it, because the way it acted, like with those people that I still see at the races, it's, I went to court with those guys, and, obviously it was not really fun. But,
I didn't realize that. I did not realize that you had.
Yep.
Okay. With the people from HB or for the people from
the from
website?
The company I was with at that time.
Okay.
And, the business side. So, yeah, I mean, it was, promises, and, I left X-Ray because of those promises, and then it went down because I did some other choices that I was not really happy about. So, yeah, it is what it is, like you said, but
you had some success with the HB car. You was doing well.
the car itself was great. Honestly, the D8 was awesome. And then they moved out. They did a few things, a few changes to the car, and then I really had fun with the cars. For sure, it really worked great. I think driving wise, I think it was close, maybe the closest to a Kershaw car. And in my opinion, it's a really good car, easy to drive. You have to push it to the limit to go fast. And sometimes I was not the fastest because I was maybe too conservative. But yeah, it was another story. And then at the end of the year, I was not really happy with the Orion engines. The quality was not matching my expectations, so I decided to leave. But I didn't know that in my back there was that deal going on between Orion and HB. So when I left Orion, they said, okay, no problem. And then a couple of weeks after, I got a letter from FedEx in my door saying that I was out of HB. So, okay, as of today, you don't have any salary for your chassis contract anymore. So,
how did that hit you? You must have been like, I'm tired of this shit.
Honestly, at that time, my wife was pregnant. I was, buying a house and, getting everything.
Wow. You must have been stressed.
Everything was just following the plan. You get close to 30. Your wife is pregnant, everything is great. You're working with nice people and you make it work, and you try to get more confident, because when you switch, like we had so many chats with Joseph about that, like you switched cars, it takes you at least a year to get into groove and get into your mark and get into your shoes, getting everything better, and then you show up at the races with the confidence that you need to win. So for me, it needed that time. And then when I got better and better, I was like, okay, now we get moving. And then I got that letter one day, like, okay,
You must have been
tomorrow
so
you're not
gutted,
gonna
dude.
get paid anymore. So
I can't imagine. Like I'm a lot old. I'm older than you, but I just had a baby daughter myself. But you're like doing everything right, and then you think you're making the moves to make your life. Because I can see, like I said, I see you're planning ahead. You're thinking about when you get my age or young, around that age. I want to still be
Yes,
working in
of
this
course.
industry. You're making moves to do that, and then all of a sudden, your plan that you have is just like going to crap. Wow.
Yep.
Was you like, I'm going to go back to being an engineer at that time? Was that going through your mind?
honestly, I didn't know at that time what I would do, like, because I was mad at
I would be mad at
them,
everybody.
and I'm still mad at those guys because they have no face. I mean, they can see you at the racing on the weekend and say hi and have a chit chat, but they're gonna slap you in the back as soon as they can. So it's part of the industry
It is.
that I don't like. Some really, I know. I mean, some guys are really nice and they are nice and they're always helpful, but some others are there and I'm the shark, but those guys are sharks. Like, if they can eat you alive, they're gonna do it.
There's no loyalty, man. I mean,
No,
we talk about
sure
loyalty with drivers and companies, but it's also with companies and drivers, and like looking like, oh man, and that just filters down to the guys that that are racing RC that are not on a pro level, that are, they maybe join a team or something like that, and then 2 months after the team, like, oh, I'm not going to drive the car no more. There's no loyalty, and there's no repercussions for that. So I get it. Like, people have to make moves. If you're doing this for a living, you have to do what you feel you have to do to proceed forward. But I think there has to be some ethics behind it as well.
Yeah.
And I never knew what really happened to you, and it sounds like you just got screwed over, man. And
Oh yeah, big time.
yeah, I would have been like, forget everybody, forget RC. I got this degree. I'm going back to this. But
But I like it.
Yeah.
It's also part of my DNA. I mean, I've been racing for so long right now. It's always what I say to those young kids and everything. It's like, okay, today it's my job to be a racer, but also to do R&D and be involved, and I'm here to win for sure, but it's also more being nice to the people, giving you a hand, doing tutorials, doing videos, explaining the setups and everything. And it's part of being a professional driver right now. So it's always been there, and by the time I wouldn't get any fun when I would go to the track, I would quit. And at that time, I I still think that I still live for it. It's I love it so much that I couldn't quit. I couldn't go back to what I was doing before. I liked it so much. So
you come so far, you couldn't go back. I get it.
Yes, exactly. So, I went to Spain with my girlfriend at that time. We had a really nice weekend off. We went to Robert Badier's place. We had fun. And I was like, ooh, that's my life. I mean, I can't do anything else.
Yeah.
So I came back, and then I knocked on some doors, and, it was the first time in my life where, like, I was going to the sponsors. You know? So I felt shit about it, but some people were like, okay, it's late right now, because it was already like end of January, so all the budgets were already done, and they really didn't really have a spot for a professional driver in France or in Europe. So many companies were interested, but they didn't really have the budget at that time. So. And some others were interested, but I was not really into it. I had honestly not so many companies that I wanted to go with. I mean, I had different opportunities, but also with my past, I didn't want to take any risk. I wanted to choose a really long-term relationship. That's what I wanted to do with X-Ray at that time, and then it didn't go through. And then I wanted to go with the long-term strategy, for myself, for my career, and for my family. So TLR was obviously the best choice. So that's why we found a deal, and I started with TLR France for the first season, and then TLR Europe, and then all the way to TLR America.
Yeah. Did you think that maybe some of your past was catching, like probably said, well, he's been with this company, you skipped the, like, I know a lot of it probably wasn't your fault, but maybe did you feel that kind of hurt you a little bit too? Like
yes, of course.
Yeah.
Like I said, it took me at least a year to be like competitive with the TLR car. The car was awesome, but it was just because, you know, you spend so much time fighting with guys that you would usually lap, then you're overthinking. Like you're driving and you said, oh, maybe I'm too old for that shit, or maybe this, or maybe that, and then you're not confident.
Yeah, so you lost your confidence pretty much. A lot of it. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, you know, when I went to the Worlds last year in Australia, I was like, I was not even into like getting into the main. I was, okay, I want to get into the podium. I want to get into the top 5. I'm not here for just being part of the main.
Yeah.
You know, and you can only achieve that when you have the package that suits you the best. And it's not only about the car, the engine, the tires, the fuel. It's all about the sponsor, the people behind that, the family that is supporting you, and, you know, those kind of things. So,
and mentally, because RC is such a weird sport. I call it a sport. It's a sport that you cannot do anything. Like, if you play football, you can train harder. You can get more physically fit to be good at football. If you race real cars, you can get physically fit. RC, like a fat guy like me, I can still do it. It's not a problem, but it's nothing. I don't think there's anything physically that you can do. It's all a mental game. Yes, it's physical with your hand, eye coordination, but if you don't have that mental game, like right in RC, you're gonna be. It shows on the track, you know. So with lack of confidence, so you kind of have to rebuild yourself completely.
Yeah, exactly. There's like you have to work hard about your confidence to make it work. And I know that, for example, I'm not as confident as when I was 18 or 16, or because, you know, you have everyday problems that I didn't have when I was 18. So it needs, in my opinion, when you're a professional driver or not even a professional driver, but if you're a racer and you want to drive and you want to compete and fight, you need to work 2 times more to get into the groove. So what I see today, like I spent maybe too much, not too much, but 2 times more time getting my stuff ready, getting myself ready than I was doing 5 years ago.
Well, you also have more responsibility now. You have a daughter, you have a wife.
Yes,
and so
exactly.
This was, I guess, this was kind of like your last chance, if that makes sense. Your last chance qualifier in RC. Would you say that? Yeah,
pretty much.
So you have to make the best of it, man. And you seem to be.
Yep.
I mean, I remember when you switched, it was doubtful, and now you've turned into pretty much TLR's best 8-scale driver. Yes, Fend is super fast. He's super fast. He's probably between him and Lutz. Coming up, well, if this podcast gets before the Nationals, which it probably will. Between him and Lutz for the Nationals this weekend, if his stuff's together, he's going to be great. But you are consistently in mains. You've been doing well. I watched you start doing the Facebook Lives. I think you started doing them in French along the same time as...
Yeah, I tried to do it in English too, but I should do both. Like, I should do a French one and an English one.
I think, you and Joseph both started that at the same time. Yours was super popular. His was too. You get it in social media. You're doing it. I think you're putting in the work. Laying on the, you say you're old, but you're still young. You still got about, I still think you got.
Oh, I wish, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, look at Drake. Drake's still in this, and he's 41, and he's
he's one of the best, in my opinion, doing that. I mean, he's there, helpful with his tips, videos, and everything. I think it's what the industry needs. And, you know, we don't need dickheads that go to the track and don't even speak to anybody because they're professional and, you know.
Yeah, and then you have the people that are almost professionals that think they're like that as well. But, yeah, you're definitely doing a great job. I mean, TLR was kind of non-existent in Europe before you came along. I mean...
it was...
maybe in France it was a little bigger.
The French distributor did a really awesome job before I got there with Jerome Sertel and, you know, those guys.
That's Jerome, right? Who was the distributor there or part of it?
It was part of it. He was the team manager for Europe.
Yeah, Jerome's a good guy.
So he did a really good job getting those kids in the team back in the days, like Duncatin, Barufolo, those guys were racing for TLR.
Yeah, I
So
remember.
I think Jerome was part of making it bigger and better since he left, and distribution is from Germany right now. They're not maybe not as race focused as before, so it's still going really good, but I think we can still do better. I mean, the car, obviously, many people were expecting for, like, waiting for the 8X to show up, and I think honestly we've worked really hard for the last
Yes, because
14 months, maybe even more now.
Because it was kind of, I remember at the Nationals last year, it was all this 8X and stuff, and it was like, it didn't show, like, it didn't make the main. And I was like, oh, wow, that was a big disappointment for him. But I've seen over the last year, it grew so much. Like, I saw, every race that I've been to, and over the last year, TLR is there. Like, the biggest one I saw, biggest presence I saw was at DNC.
I have goosebumps just to speak about it. I mean, we've started the 8X project back in September 2017, and almost 2 years ago already. And we were like, okay, the 4.0 is the old platform. It's almost a 10 years old car. I mean, we've been through some improvements for sure, but the platform itself is almost 10 years old. And we need a new platform. It's going to be the new beginning, and it's going to be the first draft, and then after that we can do everything with that new platform. So it was pretty tough at the beginning for sure. They show off at the National last year, and I show off at the Euros, and obviously we didn't make the mains. I was competitive at the Euros. I was third in my semi before I blew out a servo, but because it overheat, but we understood a few things, and honestly that's what I like the most about the team. We have a really, really good atmosphere. People that are really race focused, they are committed, and they make it happen. Back at the dirt, we had really nice result. Dakota got second, but
he was so fast there.
Yeah, I mean, he started from the B main and got second. He was driving really good, and the car was great. And we still had a meeting after the race, and we got everything together, get the data, and we moved from there. And then he was dominating at Silver State.
So, he was. I was so funny at DNC because Joseph and I said to Joseph, I said, Fend is the fastest guy on this track. He's like, he's gonna blow like he always does. I said, I don't care. I just kind of watched one section of the track. Then I watched everybody go there, and he was so fast. And then Silver State, he was so fast. He's so talented, man. He just has like the crappiest luck in 8 scale. It's so amazing.
It's the kind of things that happen only like once in 10 years.
It happens to him all the time.
I think he had engine problems for the last 6 years, and he got rid of those. He got obviously OS programs right now, and it fits his driving style better. He get into the confidence that he needs to get the lap times, to click some fast lap times, and still he had some dramas for the last couple of races. So I honestly think that he's gonna win the national. I wish it. I really wish. But
I think it's going to be between him, Lutz, Mayfield, Tebow, and then I can throw in Rivkin in there, and we'll see. It's going to be it starts. I can't wait. It's in a couple of days. This and the Euros are two of my favorite races, so can't wait.
I mean, it's long races. It's. I mean, obviously the Nationals. It's the biggest race in the US, and the Euros is the biggest race in the Europe. So.
Yeah, and what I like about the Nationals more than anything. It's how racing used to be. There's no sportsman open class. You race where you finish. That's how you gauge yourself to see where you really are. So I'm just upset I'm not there because the track looks so nice.
With the flag on the corner and everything.
Yeah, but it's some sort of plastic material with high grip paint, so it's gonna be exciting. It doesn't have many stupid big jumps. It's gonna make for good racing. I like that step up. I'm gonna be like glued to my televisions, my YouTube, because like There
are not so many races that I watch myself because I'm always racing, but I'm probably gonna watch it on Sunday night. That's for sure.
Well, I'm such a nerd. I'll be watching it from whenever they start coverage. So, but then I like to talk about it. So it's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're at TLR. You're in a happy place. You also you're with RC Concepts, which is what's your involvement with them in the engine line?
I'm involved in the development of the products. I'm helping them developing the foreign sales also. When I have a little bit of extra time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a French company growing. They got 2 European champion title last weekend with the new engine that we released.
Mm-hmm.
So it was great.
Okay. Also, so it looks good for you at TLR. Like, well, you're happy, you're doing well. You found a home. What do you expect over the next couple years?
My contract is up at the end of the season right now. I'm expecting to sign another contract for 2 years. It's usually 2 years by 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I've been expecting that situation for a while, like feeling at home.
Yes.
With Mugen, I was. With X-Ray, I was. But, it was really strict work.
Yes.
Sometimes it was not really the way I wanted.
Right.
Right now with TLR, I feel like it fits me like a glove. I love the cars. I love the people I work with every day. So, yeah, I wish it's going to last forever. I mean, if they still want me for the next couple of years, for sure, we're still going to go that way.
Yeah.
Honestly, I haven't been that confident going for the Euros for a while. I got 4th at the Euros warm-up. We still had a few things to work on the car and the tires at that time. We didn't have the Aqua compound yet.
Mm-hmm.
We raced the Aqua compound at Silver State, and it was obviously a nice step forward. We didn't have that at the Euros warm-up, so I'm expecting it for the Euros to get us the small step we needed. I mean, being only 5/10 per lap slower than Ongaro at his backyard track is, for me, a really good performance. So yeah, I'm really confident going for the Euros, and obviously 10 scale worlds. We're gonna have new things coming out, so it's really really exciting too.
Do you race much 10 scale, or is it just like a?
I do the nationals and the Euros. It's basically, I would say, the really race. It's not the most class that I race, the biggest class, but it's something that I like.
Yes.
The problem is I really enjoy driving it on dirt. The nationals in France, for example, this year was all about AstroTurf and carpet. So I think 10 scale is going more about those like surfaces, which isn't really helping in my opinion, but it's easier to get into. There is no maintenance. For me, it doesn't really help driving style. I think on carpet or dirt, carpet or Astro, you just punch it as bad as you can and you're going to be fast.
It's like driving Truggy.
Yeah.
No offense,
Yeah,
Truggy
but-
guys. I like Truggy, but it definitely brings up Truggy's so easy to drive. It brings
It's
us
fun.
It is, but it brings us. I say Truggy all the time brings us a false sense of speed. I get plenty guys that say, "Look, I make the A main and Truggy, but I'm in the C main and Nitro buggy." Or like you need to race your Nitro buggy a little bit more. So
Yeah.
nothing wrong with Truggy. I love it. It's definitely for me. I'm old and slow. But yeah, I can see that comparison.
No, and I have way more track time, way more experience with 10 scale, with 8 scale. I mean, I've been racing it for 20 plus years. So 10 scale is only 5 years that I raced 10 scale. So it's not enough. I mean, I obviously I'm gonna go to the Euros in a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, a month from now. I got 3rd at the Euros in two-wheel drive 2 years ago on that track, so I'm pretty confident too. The TLR cars are really awesome on that surface and on that track. Also, the two-wheel drive, the 5.0 car is really amazing. It's really competitive. So yeah, I have big expectation for that race too. but I'm not spending as much time as I wanted.
Right.
I couldn't do the Euros warm up, for example, because we had the 8 scale national at that time. So I wish I would do more, but there are not enough weekends in a year.
Yeah, I mean, what is a day like you? What is a day for you? How does your day start? Like, or what do you do?
I have my company also right now. Like, we have an online hobby shop. So, my wife is dealing with the hobby shop. So she's dealing with orders, getting the orders ready, and, doing with that. So I have a bit of a check in the morning. Then I get my cars ready, and then I head to the track.
Okay.
So basically, like this week, for example, I went to the track yesterday. I had a few things to try on the 8 scale car. Then today I have the podcast, so I get my thing ready. And if it's not too late, I'm going to head up to the track after that. Tomorrow I'm going to build a new 8 scale electric car because we have the new 8 scale Speedo from LC Concept that we need to try. On Thursday, I get my gears ready. And then on Friday, I drive to the 8 scale nationals this weekend. So
okay. Good
That's
stuff.
pretty much it. And at 11 o'clock at night, I'm still in the bed with my phone answering the question that I got on my Facebook page.
Yeah,
That's pretty much it.
Sounds about right. Sounds about right for my life too. Not as big as you, but definitely
but
on my phone.
We have different racer, different customers all over the world, and if it's midnight in France, it's 6 a.m. in China, and it's in the afternoon in the US. So
yeah, my wife doesn't understand that, so she just gets pissed off.
I mean, mine does a little bit because she works in the RC industry also right now. But sometimes you have to
have some
get
family
the phone
time
out and just relax. Like last weekend, I dropped the phone in the house and I just had fun. Sometimes you need it.
I gotta learn to do that. I'm trying to figure that out too. It's hard. But yeah, I'm nowhere near as busy as you, but I do get busy. So I have a few more questions. Then we have some listener questions, and then we have the 10-second segment, which I don't send those questions to you because it's just kind of supposed to be a surprise. But what's your thoughts on the industry right now, and what would you like to see change?
I would like to see more new faces. That's for me the biggest problem. And honestly, we're racing, like you said, sometimes you have more people driving and racing the 40 plus class. I mean, it doesn't mean they are not new in the industry. They can, but we need new faces. I mean, that's what I would like to do in the next future. I don't know I'm gonna race as long as possible, but today I'm not gonna race anymore. I'm gonna try to get new faces into it. I mean, it takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, but getting a hobby shop that is at the track back home, there's not so many. Having coupons, rental cars, or those kind of things to attract new faces because we are all racing all over the world, but we are promoting products for a small amount of people.
Yeah.
So when I go to my home track, I was there yesterday, and the guy was like, "Oh yeah, it makes me want to buy a Losi." Yes.
Yeah.
Do it.
But we want 1,000 people to buy Losis around the world. You gotta think big.
This guy is not gonna buy Associated anymore. So Losi is gonna grow bigger, but Associated is gonna go down. And I would like the cake to be bigger and not sharing always the same cake that is going smaller and smaller and smaller because we have many more companies that are want to spend money, and some companies are not even money focused.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Infinity or those companies where people are investing money into the industry, but there is no real connection to the market. And
yeah, I get what you mean. I say this all the time. I'm not even gonna get on this soapbox. We need to make it bigger. We need to make the pie bigger instead of everybody fighting over little pieces. We need to have a big enough pie for all of us to eat. We need to grow this industry. We need to try things different. We all need to do it as individuals as well. But I think until the industry as manufacturers, which I think it has to start with the chassis manufacturers, Until we come together and support something and work together, it's not going to happen. So first we need to come together, and then we need to, no matter what, we're competitors. Yes, we are competitors, but we have to think for the overall picture for everything. So hopefully that it happens. I'm not going to go on my soapbox because I know people get tired of me talking about it, RCGP and all that stuff, but I just think we need to do something. All right. How much longer do you think you can race competitively?
Honestly, I had results for the last couple of years that were amazing, and the last national I had was one of my biggest win. Started last after a drama in semifinal, and then got everything together, and then won the race. And I was like, okay, that is what I want to do. So as long as I can, as long as I want, I'm gonna do everything possible. I mean, when I get close to the Euros or the Worlds, I work even more. I go even more to the track to get ready, to get in shape, and I hope I'm gonna stick to those like top 10 Worlds places for the next 4-6 years. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, Drake's still doing it. He's 41. Drake is at that track a lot. And
I said, honestly, like I said, when you have a life outside of RC, it takes 2 times more.
Oh yeah,
practicing and getting everything ready. So the older you get, the harder worker you have to be, in my opinion. But
yes, of course. And he's definitely a great example of that. That age doesn't matter. I mean, yes, it does matter. Of course, it does. But if you put in the work, you can still be good. Do I think Drake is going to go out there and win the Nationals? Probably not.
He did 4 years ago?
No, he won it in 2000. Yeah, 5 years ago, 2013.
Yeah.
But is he going to make the main and all that stuff? Yeah, I think so. I don't see why he can't make it. So I have a question. Who has been your biggest rivalry in RC and around the world, like out of all the drivers?
Whew. I don't know. I mean,
who do you hate to lose to? That's a better question.
No, I would say maybe Robert Battier. We're really close friends. But back in the days, like I won the Euros and then I switched, and he pretty much took my position at Mugen and then won the Euros. So we've always had really nice fights on the track. I would say the most respectful rival for sure.
Yeah. All right. And what about after racing? What are your plans? What do you see yourself doing in the industry after you finish racing?
I like going to the races and giving a hand to the guys and learning and sharing my experience. Every weekend when I go to the track and those guys are telling me like, oh, I've seen your tutorial this week. It's awesome. I learned so much, and I would like to be part of it still, not as a racer, but like Mark Pavidis did, like Gil Luzzi is doing now, like Mark Ebars back home. Being there, assisting the young talents, and if I can stick and stay in the industry for a while, doing that would be nice.
Okay, I have one more question before we go on to our listener questions, and that is, what advice would you give to somebody getting started in the industry? And somebody who's in the in the hobby, I should say, and somebody who's in the hobby and not happy, because I run into a lot of guys that aren't happy. Maybe they feel their results should be better. I don't think happiness should be result based, even if you're a pro and you're making a living off of this.
It's competition, so it's difficult. I told my wife last weekend, I went to the nationals. I went there for winning the 10 scale nationals, and I didn't drive great. I crashed. I was not happy about my driving, and I said I had fun, but the result was obviously what was not expecting, and the pleasure is really like result driven. So it's pretty tough. We all competitors and we all want to achieve like big goals, but first thing is you want to have fun. I mean, either okay, it's your job, so you're doing your job. But like I said, the day I'm not gonna have fun at a track, I'm gonna quit. It's like I had pretty much the same way of thinking when I was in my company back in the days. Like, if I wouldn't like that job, I would stop and do another one. You know, sometimes it's tough because obviously there are not so many jobs, and it's back home. It's tough, but do what you like.
Yes, I agree.
Life is short. If you're like not having fun during the week in your job, and then you're showing off at the race and you're not having fun, what's the point? Do something else.
Yeah, people are scared to do that though. People
Yeah.
are scared to do that. I mean, my story is pretty unique. I'm like Joseph Quaker said to me, "Hey, I got a job for you, but I can't pay you." And I was like, "Really?" Well, I was about to go home and get a real job, like go back home to Bermuda. And hey, I'm not making. Trust me, just as we know, RC doesn't pay a lot. I'm not making a lot of money. I'm not making barely anything, but I'm working toward. I've kind of like you. I've come far in the last 2 years to stop, and I enjoy what I'm doing, and I can see what's gonna happen in the future. It's just you got to keep pushing towards it. Like I think if you find something you love to do, there's a saying: if you find something you love to do, you never work another day of your life. I think I'm kind of there. I just need So I get it, man. People I think that's period in life. I wasn't happy in Bermuda. I love Bermuda. It's my country, but I got tired of being there, so I moved to the DR. Everybody told me I'll be back home in 6 months. I've been here for almost 14 years, and I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it for anything. So sometimes you just got to do it. I know I'm just a big proponent of what you said. Like, if you ain't happy, you got to do. The only person that can fix that is yourself.
Yes, of course. And those people that are thinking negatively, they bring that energy to the industry also, with rumors or with bad atmosphere, with bad behavior on the racing, and that's not supportive.
Yeah, I mean, I like rumors and I like drama too. I like it on the track. I like that type of stuff. I definitely think I like to see our drivers, our racers, like kind of show a little bit more emotion. Like talking to you, now that I've actually got to talk to you, I can see how you think. But I mean, like it is competition too, so things get heated. But I just get, it's just like people.
No, but it's those kind of things. It's racing, so it's part of it.
That's what I like.
People complaining about this or that, blah blah blah. This is not helping.
No, you're right.
I'm not gonna do it, but I totally get it when you're racing and the guy next to you take you out and you would just want to punch him in the face. I totally get it because we are so focused when we were racing that everything got heated and I kind of like it sometimes. It's exciting,
Yes.
But complaining about this or that always, and we are not princess. We're racing toy cars, and some of us are doing it for a living.
Scale motorsports, right?
Yes,
Scale motorsports.
Exactly.
I think I think like drama. Someone keeps saying, well, drama. We need to get rid of drama in RC. Well, I think it's always been here. It's just now with social media, it's just easier for everybody to see it. I mean, hearing some of the stories from back in the past, I'm sure you have some stories as well. But yeah, definitely people just need to be a little bit more open-minded. Like we have a rant section on this podcast, and we rant about things, but we also try to offer solutions. Maybe you can try doing it this way and that way, because I definitely think we need to start doing some new things to go forward. Cool. All right. So now we're gonna move on to you actually got quite a few questions here, so I gotta answer them all because I've been kind of bad about not getting the listener questions in. So here we go. Here we have the first one from Joe Zaire Jr., who has a great podcast called Ran Out of Talent, deals with RC. I was on there last week, so go check him out. He goes, Joe's pretty savage. He goes, TLR seems to be ignoring their 10 scale 4-wheel drive program. Are they dropping the class, or will there be something new by the end of this year?
Joker. No, we're not ignoring the class. I think truck was growing bigger, so we went for truck. That's what I'm racing back home. Four-wheel drive has always been one of the class in 10 scale.
Yes.
Obviously, two-wheel drive is the class, and four-wheel drive is the second most raced class. But we've been focusing on two-wheel drive to make it the best two-wheel drive out there. And then learning from that, we are working on the new four-wheel drive.
Got you. Okay, next person is Will Smith, the Barracuda. You're the Shark, Will's the Barracuda. He says, is there any advice or tips you would recommend besides your great wrench set to any up-and-coming He's an RC Concepts driver, too.
Yes, we had some fun together at Silver State. It was fun hanging out with those guys.
Yeah, he was trying to get me out. I did not hang out at all at Silver State. I don't know why. He goes, what would that tip or advice be to the up-and-coming racer?
I would say keep your head cool. I mean, sometimes I've seen young talents blowing out because they were like aggressive, or just show some respect to yourself first, to your parents if they're paying for everything, to the other racers for sure. But one mistake is nothing. And then two, okay, you can get mad, but inside and you don't show anything. And, you know, it's part of being like a fast racer. I think it's not overthinking and just trying to get everything together and then get as fast as possible. Awesome. Just have fun first.
Yes, I tell people all that. I said, have fun and good luck. That's what I say. Kris Trudeau, what tool in your pit box can you not live without? And if you weren't racing RC, what would you be doing?
If I wouldn't have a brush in my toolbox, I would be sad. I like my cars to be clean. It's part of trusting when I'm racing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when I go on the driver's stand, I like that being sure that I wouldn't get any issue. So I can get focused on my driving and not thinking about, oh, maybe that screw might come off, might this and might that. So, yeah, I want my car to be clean. And if I wouldn't be driving RC, I like running. I like riding bicycle. But I know I'm not good enough. I mean, I'm too short. I'm not physical enough. So I wouldn't be as good as what I'm good at right now. So it would just be fun.
You like football? France has some good football teams.
No, I'm really bad at soccer. Yeah.
Do you follow it at all? Oh no.
With the World Cup, yeah.
Everybody follows the World Cup.
Yeah, World Cup, yes, but the national championship, not so much.
Okay. No. Okay, my good friend Connie Svensson from Sweden. He's a big fifth scale, large scale fanatic. He goes first question. Nice. He goes first question. Have you done any fifth scale racing with the TLR 5B or Losi 5T? In that case, who is the fastest of you and Jerome Sartell? And if so, do you plan to race fifth scale more regularly?
I'm too young for that.
Fifth scale is awesome.
It is awesome. I mean, I've seen fifth scale at DNC like many years. It's awesome. Some fifth scale that we have back home, they don't look like what you guys have in the US, where, you know, you have the clutches, the pipes and everything that gives the extra power the weight of the car needs. So no, I haven't been racing fifth scale yet. I think it's a totally different class. It needs, you know, experience, and it needs learning. Also, I've seen Jerome going through that process, like showing up at the race. You still have your skills and your talent. You're a really good driver, but if you don't know how to set up the clutch or, you know, the servos or anything, and then you can't compete. So Jerome for sure is quicker than me in fifth scale right now. He has way more experience.
Wow, I got my dog out there barking. He goes, second question. It seems like the 8X is really competitive. What do you personally think are the biggest improvements over the previous model?
I think the 4.08 was a really, really good car. It was super balanced. The only problem was the geometry itself was generating way too much grip. So the car was designed for like the early 2000 tracks with tight corners in the US, for example, Blue Groove, indoor. So the car was amazing when the track was flat and low bite. It was probably the fastest car out there. But the problem was the tracks were getting more and more like the European style track we had, like more bumpy, high bite, high speed sweepers. And I think our geometry, the arms and the plastic were a little bit too short and too soft for those kind of tracks. So the main improvement of the car is based on the geometry and the shocks. So the car is way better on high bite, high speed, and in the bumps. So the car is easier to drive, more stable, and then still really competitive on super short, small tracks, low bite. So I would say the car is more balanced from one track to another. We're not struggling. Sometimes you had really good setup and you show up at the next race and you say, we need to work out that a little bit more. With the 8X right now, I'm just adjusting the tires, the shock oil with the temperature, and that's pretty much what I do. We found a setup that is really good for my driving style. I know Dakota is having a setup that is really good for his driving style too. And from one track to another, we barely change the tires.
Mm-hmm. That's good. I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is having a car that's probably, I know I quote Joseph a lot. He says, I have a car that's 80% good at every track. And then you find the other 20% or as close as you can get.
I totally agree. It's like you need to find a basic setup that fits your driving style. I think that's the most important. You have some drivers that can advise you, like you're at the club race and the guy say, oh, try this. It was awesome, but it was awesome for him first. Maybe you're going to give it a try. And then, okay. So it doesn't really suit my driving style. Yes. You have some pro guys like me giving advice, giving setups. It's, for me, a good starting setup. For example, when I give my setup, I think I can give my car to anybody that can drive it. Because in my opinion, if you're a pro driver, you want the car to be fast, but you want the car to be easy to drive. If you're fighting with your car, you can't fight with the other guys. So I would say start with a setup that works for anybody else, and then move along and then tweak it to make it work with your driving style. But yeah, for sure, it's the same with I know that MIP is coming out with those bypass pistons, and I've seen many different systems, many different brands coming out with those. I think it can be awesome in a small window, but if you go to another track, it's not going to be as good. It might be better, but it's not going to be as good. So, you
have to change everything.
I obviously didn't try that system yet. So I trust MIP to do really good stuff. Like, I know that they're having really awesome products, but I think it's the same as going really far in one direction, and then it's gonna be awesome in one track, but not the next weekend.
I get that. Okay, I totally understand that because I say that to a lot of people. Colin Brennan, who just came back from the Euro Bs, he says, do you think if you had stayed with Mugen, you would have won more big races?
Back in 2012, yes. If I would stick with Mugen after my title in 2010, I would probably win the Euros in 2011 and 2012. But I wouldn't be as motivated. I wouldn't work as hard, and I might not be a pro anymore right now.
Really? That's interesting.
I don't know. I mean, life is full of opportunities, and I've been through there. I made some choices. I don't regret any. It made me who I am today. But you never know.
Never know.
I know that Mugen is one of the best cars out there right now, but could have been not as good. They could have gone bankrupt because it's a small company, or you never know what's gonna happen.
Did you ever try to go back to Mugen after any of your times when you left another company?
Honestly, when I got kicked out of HB, Mugen, Kyosho, Losi were like, for me, the major brands in the industry. So I thought about it, but I don't know. It would be kind of a step back
Yeah,
in my career. I don't know how to.
they have their drivers, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think you got into TLR at a really good time.
Yeah.
So, really good time. Okay, Jose Alvarado, who is Captain Team Losi in America. Who is your favorite Mexican?
I already answered that question, I think, in the comment.
Yeah, I got that. Brian McGinty, he was super excited. He says you're his favorite driver. He messaged me yesterday.
Thank you.
He goes, your biggest achievement and biggest regret.
Biggest achievement, I think, would be my first Euros. At that time, I mean, it was kind of tough back home with my dad, and I think that's what we needed at that moment to get together a little bit more. And yeah, every other Euros title, it's been great. Going back to the World's Final in 2016 also was one of my biggest achievement. I mean, 2016 was obviously one of the most difficult year of my career, because I started my company in 2016. My daughter was born in 2016, so I was not maybe 100% focused on my racing at that time, and I worked really, really hard to be in that world's main final. So.
Understand. And you did. I think it was the top placing TLR in that. Was it TLR?
Yeah, we were fighting with Mayfield in the main to get the 7th spot.
Okay, good stuff. 7th at that track. 7th was brutal. Very brutal.
Yeah, it was brutal, and you could see in the main, like, everybody, Mayfield, Boots, they took the lead for a couple of laps, and then they crashed, and then when they realized that they wouldn't be world champ, that it was done. So it was kind of funny.
Okay, Kevin LaChapelle, he's from Quebec. He says La Canada c'est et. I don't know if that's said right.
It means Canada this summer. I know they have a really nice race.
The Quebec Classic, it's called. Yeah.
Yes, Quebec Classic. Yeah, Jerome, my friend, started that like 3 or 4 years ago. I went there once. The problem was when I went there, my cars were in a suitcase, and the suitcase never showed up.
You never found that suitcase, or did you get it back? Or
they did, but like 2 weeks after. So I had rental cars, and it was a nice race. But I remember that I practiced with Ty's truck, and it was a fun race for sure. Really challenging.
You know what French I know? The only pretty much French I know is because I work with a bunch of French guys in Doha, Qatar. Puta mer. Because I heard them say that every chance they could. They were nice guys, though. I worked with them in Doha, Qatar, and some tunnel work we was doing there. Puta mer. I know what it means, but yeah, good stuff. Okay, we have 3 more questions. Lucas Livingston, he says, will there be an 8X Truggy coming soon?
We're working on some details. Some guys from the team already adapted like the steering system, the radio tray, the rear hubs on the 4.0 truck. I think the Truggy class is not as big as what it was, so it's a step at a time. We released the XE, the electric car. Then we're working on the 4-wheel 10-scale car. And then it might be the Truggy also. Okay.
He also asked, for low traction tracks, what changes would you make to the 22 5.0 to make it more competitive, setup-wise and different parts?
We have 2 different versions of the 5.0 car right now, the DC and the AC. DC is for dirt, AC is for Astro and Carpet.
Okay.
So basically it's the same car, same design, but the parts that come in a box are matching the track conditions. So basically going from a low bite track, outdoor, dusty, to Astro, I would just switch to the AC setup. So rising the rear hubs, rising the rear diff, moving the weight forward, putting more weight into the car, and bigger holes in the shock pistons. That's pretty much it.
Okay. We have two more. Elias Mittendorfer. I probably butchered that name. He goes, what are the major changes you make from going from a Lomi track to AstroTurf track in 8-scale buggy? You race so much AstroTurf there in France in 8-scale?
8-scale never ever. I mean,
Okay.
The first round of French National that we had, it was a 50% AstroTurf track because it requires less maintenance. But AstroTurf is usually high bite, super high bite. So I would say starting with the high bite setup. I mean, on my Facebook page, obviously, I posted many of them. But maybe a thicker front diff, thicker front sway bar, maybe softer front springs to like let the car roll and prevent a little bit more. Cutting the pin outside and inside of the tires might help also the car from not flipping.
Yeah, that's what them guys do. I'm surprised they don't have an AstroTurf specific 8-scale tire yet. I see these guys always cutting the pins off.
They are. In I think in UK they're using AstroTurf 8-scale tires. It's pretty ugly, but I think it's working.
Okay. And the last question, hold on, I lost it. Let me find it. Oops, not that person. Is from Omar. That's, I don't know. I guess that's how he spells his name. He says, what is the first 3 to 4 modification adjustments you recommend for the XE?
About what, the setup or?
He just says modification adjustments you would recommend. He doesn't. I guess he's talking about modifications for the XE. I don't know if it needs mods or anything. I'm not sure.
No, not at all. I mean, the tips that we're doing for the Nitro or the e-buggy car is we're not using the shims in the diff, but we've been doing that for 10 years with the TLR cars. You have the O-rings on the outdrives, and we're not using any shim behind the big pinion in the diff.
Okay.
But that's pretty much it. I'm using the 3.5 shock shaft as an option. I think the car handles the bumps and the jumps a lot better.
Okay.
But except for that, there's no mod cars stock except the options that are available.
Good stuff. Well, that's all the viewer questions that we have. I did. One more was Enrico Maloney. He asked for Instagram. He says, "How do you keep your cars looking so good?" I guess you kind of answered that because you said you love to have a brush and keep your cars clean.
Yep.
Okay, so now, Reno, we're going to move on to the FastRaceShop.com 10 questions, 10 seconds segment.
Now we go into the Fast Race 10 questions in 10 seconds segment. Fast Race is a world champion option parts brand made in Italy. Fast Race drivers include Davide Ongaro and Riccardo Berton, and they run the innovative performance enhancing parts that Fast Race makes for most 1/8 buggies, including the world famous honeycomb shock bladders and caps. Go to FastRaceShop.com and type in Lefty 2019 to get 10% off your purchase now.
Are you ready for this? You got to answer them like as fast, as truthfully as possible.
Okay.
All right. So, number 1, best country you have lived in.
U.S.
Because you got caught speeding. That's why. You like
Yeah,
to go fast.
I mean, I live there. I every single time I go there, I really love it. Every single time I go there, Kevin Gahan told me, the home, the next door is free. Do you want to move in? You know, it's fun.
Okay. The best country you have been diving in so far.
It's pretty tough. I don't know about Bali, Indonesia, or Australia. I would say Bali.
I've heard good things about Bali too from my buddy who dives. He says it's really good. Okay, which Euro was your favorite win? Number 3. Sorry.
I would say number 3. Yeah, in 2010 in Austria, I think it was the nicest one because I was not. I mean, obviously, I was there for winning, but I was struggling in qualifiers, and I won it. So, it was one of the best.
Okay, number 4, because we heard this so much. Pillow bowl, that you love pillow bowls. So, what pillow bowls are?
Pill balls. I don't know where the name came from, but it's supposed to be pivot balls, and it's the steering system for the Mugen car, S-Works now, associated pretty much every 8-scale car on the market right now.
But you are a fan of them, right?
I've been running it for a while, and I think it's really helping on the Euros tracks because the car is a little bit numb around neutral, but you still have a really good steering, and I think that's what the track requires. Okay. So I like the steering system, like the feeling of the steering.
Yes, got you. Yes. Okay, I'm lost count. Number 5, the best track you have raced on.
Cinetic, Indonesia.
Oh, I remember seeing that video from you being on that track. It was crazy.
It's awesome. I mean, we've posted a video on Facebook. I think it got 5 million views.
Wow.
It's insane.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, number 6. Now, this guy, I've spoken to a lot of older drivers like Dagani, even Joseph, and they say this is probably the best 8-scale driver to ever never win a Worlds. Yannick Aiguan. What Yannick Aiguan is?
He's a French driver, driving for X-Ray right now. For me, it's one of my biggest rival. I have a lot of respect for him. I think he's in the industry for a while. Also, we've been fighting for a while for French national titles.
But he still does good, and he doesn't race that much, and he's old. He's fast. Not old, but you know.
He's got a family. He's got a company. He's got.
Okay. All right. Well, that leads into number 6. Joseph Quagrain is. Please go full 100 on him. Because you and him are friends, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say dedicated. He's dedicated.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, you need balls to do what he does. Like, creating your company, like releasing your car, getting some comments about French dudes that says that your car is a piece of shit. Those kind of things.
Oh, he used that for fuel. He really used that for fuel.
Yeah, I know. I know. So it was funny. I know Joseph for a long time now, and
was you friends with him when you said that to him, or have you become more friends with him recently?
I think he hated me at that time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think he hated me for a while, and then he realized that I was there and I was trying to have fun, and I was still having a lot of respect for him. So yeah, it got better.
Yeah, I think you guys are on a good terms now. Like, yeah, that's good. He's a knob end, but he's actually a really decent guy. And
he's a character for sure. He's part of the industry. I mean, he's trying to make things move forward. He's got some really good ideas, but
it's Joseph.
Yeah, it's the kind of person, it's either you like him or you hate him. There is no in between because he's so far off. I mean,
trust me,
funny.
I love and hate him all in one day, dude. All in one day. And maybe in an hour, I love and hate him. He's been pretty good lately, to be honest. He's been pretty decent. Okay. I'm lost count. I guess we're on number 7. Will you dive if great white's outside of the cage? Because I see people are doing that now.
I would do it 200%. Back in the days when I dove with the great whites, my hand was outside the cage. Maybe I would say 20 centimeters. So what is it in feet?
That's like almost 2 feet.
1 foot, 2 feet.
Almost 2 feet.
From his face, and they were so calm, like cruising around, that I was taking pictures and my hand was there, and I didn't really realize that it was so dangerous because he would just grab it in an instant, and the guy next to me in the cage like pull me back like, dude, you're crazy. I'm like, no, I'm just feeling confident, and the guy like from the expedition, it's Rodney Fox. It's the grandchild of the inventor of the shark cage. He was outside the cage the whole time.
Really? Man, people are doing some crazy things. Like they're free diving with them. Like that one girl just hanging riding on
I
them.
don't know. They feel confident. They have positive energy. I don't know how it works, but it works, man.
Yeah, and sharks, like, I mean, we could go on a whole different tangent. Like sharks are a really important part of the ecosystem and whatnot.
Yes.
We had a video where they dragged one up on shore here in Savoya the other day. Man, it pissed me off so much, and it ended up dying. It was just ignorance, man. Ignorance.
Yep.
I grew up near the ocean, so I'm kind of close to, you know what I mean? I lived on an island. I live near the ocean. I don't get in it as much as I want to, but I definitely, it's something that has been a big part of my life.
Yeah.
Okay, number 8. In your opinion, who is the best 8-scale driver you've ever seen or throughout history and up to now?
That's a tough one. Cavalieri is a fantastic driver, any class. The way he drives, he's like, okay, I'm not the fastest sometimes, but he's super consistent. You know, some of the guys putting pressure on him, and he's just gonna go click some laps, and then he can win. So 8-scale driver that is one of the best out there. Yeah, I would say Mayfield. Mayfield is maybe for me the most impressive driver every single track I've been to.
Yeah, he is definitely impressive. Definitely.
Yeah.
Number 9, your thoughts on RCGP so far?
I was really excited about it last year when Joseph told me about it. Honestly, I was racing at the time when they had the 2 last rounds. So I was only like following on Facebook, and from an outside point of view, I could feel that sometimes he was not matching what I was expecting. I think RCJP is a really fantastic idea, but it has to grow bigger, like going with full scale race or motocross race. I mean, I know that's the deal. That's the plan, but it has to go that way.
Yeah, I know that's being avidly worked on. Probably for next year, I'm pretty sure that is going to happen. One of the races, so that's good. But I have to start somewhere. How do you like the whole series thing? Would you like? You think? Do you think we need a series like where all you guys are racing together to crown an overall champion?
If you watch like MotoGP, motocross, Formula One, it's all about series. I had a chat with Robert Badier the other day at Euros warm-up, and he told me like, okay, you won the world championship. Is it like 5 races, 6 races, a championship? No, it's just one race. So if you feel good at that time and your car is awesome on that track, then you can win the world championship. But then you fail at DNC 3 months after, and nobody's gonna talk to you about it because it's not the world's.
Yeah.
So I know that some people are like having criticism about the top 25 RC rankings, but I think it's a pretty good system. It's pretty well done because people can have a really good idea of what's going on right now. I mean, for myself also, like last year I was facing like mechanical issues, with my car. It was obviously not really ready yet. We needed to work on some reliability, and I dropped down pretty bad. I was almost off the chart. So it's kind of, the ranking of the drivers and when you want to be. So it needs a series, but series where people go and where the pro go.
Yeah.
So.
Well, hopefully you can convince TLR to join next year, because I think you and Dakota Fenn will make a great addition.
Yeah, for sure.
It will be great.
We're all excited about it, and we'll see how it goes for next year. Obviously, TLR has some different plans. They're fighting on. I mean, they're obviously present on many different brands and different competition and classes. So
I like what they did last week at the Horizon Fest, I think it's called. Where they have I think that's something I'd like to attend. Like, I'm really into the crawling, but they have all aspects of RC And I'm just an RC fan, period. So if it's RC, I'm into it. So
Yeah, they have so many different classes, so many different cars, the trucks. I mean, Horizon hobby is huge, so it's not about only about cars. Also, it's about drones, planes, boats. It's many different products.
Number 10. If you wasn't racing RC, is there any other form of racing you would like to that you would like to do, that you follow, that you're passionate about?
I really like go-karting with my friends, but I'm too fat.
I'm too fat.
I don't know if I would be racing it as hard as RC, but I would probably buy a go-kart and have fun with my friends. I like rally cars also, but it's a big budget also. But I would probably race, like pay for a season and get a rental car that you can race with.
Rally drivers are so. I was watching a video yesterday, and the stuff they're doing in those cars is. I think they're the best drivers in the world. If you can drive rally cars well,
I mean, honestly, rally cars is something for sure. Like when you are like watching the webcams or the inboard cams, it's just impressive the way they drive, and it's really impressive. But it's also like going in a circuit for like the cups that are doing. They all have the same cars, and it's all about the driver. And I like those kind of things. Like, okay, you guys have all the same car.
Yes.
Now it's all about the drivers and the way you're gonna set it up, and that would be interesting. I might do that.
Yeah. Well, that ends the FastRaceShop.com 10 question, 10 seconds segment. Thank you for participating in that, and this kind of concludes our podcast. Thank you for coming on. Do you have anything you would like to say? Anybody you'd like to thank before we go on and before we conclude this?
No, thank you for the opportunity. I know that you guys are really busy, and it's been nice to be there. I'm really happy to be part of it. Thank you for everybody that is listening. Also to my supporters, like everybody that is following me on Facebook and all those social media. I would be nice to have a chit chat with all of you guys at the races. Don't hesitate. I'm here for that. It's always fun. It's always a pleasure to share the setup experiences and everything. So thank you guys.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this chat with you. I've never really talked to you at any of the races, but I like this because now I got a different insight, and obviously when I see you again, we'll sit off and have a chat.
Sure, of course. You need to.
Yes. All right, man. Thank you for your time, and good luck at the Euros.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You are entering the Techno RC Grassroots Racer Spotlight. The part of the podcast that gives the listeners a platform to talk about RC. Brought to you by Techno RC. Techno RC. Techno RC is a premium manufacturer specializing in 8th and 10th scale high-performance off-road RC buggies and trucks. Visit www.technorc.com for a complete catalog of their products.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to the Techno RC Grassroots Racer Spotlight. This is the part of the podcast dedicated to all the grassroots racers out there, all the guys who are working Monday to Friday or Monday to Saturday, 9 to 5 or 5 to 9, the guys out there that are traveling to these races and just racing, having fun, and pretty much 99% of the hobby. This is your time. This is your platform to talk. Say what you want to say. Tell us why you like RC. Tell us what you want to see changed. Tell us whatever you want to talk about. This is your time to talk, and we appreciate you. So this is for all the No Name RC podcast listeners and all the guys out there that are just enjoying RC and having fun. So this week, my guest is all the way from Orlando, Florida. I met this guy and his wife at PMB. We had a few modelos. He's a great guy, full of energy. Mr. Kris Boyter. How are you, Kris?
I'm good, Keenan. Thanks. How you doing?
I'm chilling, man. Just another day here in paradise.
Awesome.
How's things in Florida? You see any gators today?
Oh, yeah, man. every day. I just watch out for them as I'm driving down the highway, and you'll spot them.
Every time I come to Florida, I'm like constantly looking, and I have not seen one yet. So.
Yeah. The problem with gators is they look smaller than they actually are. So it's fun to see them, but from a distance.
Yeah, my buddy Jake Lasco, he sends me pictures like he must live next to a pond or whatever. He's like, here's a gator for you, Keenan, or here's a rattlesnake. I'm like, I wouldn't be living there. No.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. So what's up, man? You just came back from AMS. You had a good time there. I was looking at your pictures and whatnot. You had fun. You made the A main in Sportsman Nitro. You almost burnt your finger off stopping a runaway truggy, whatnot. Good times, man. You had fun. I went to that race last year. It was fun. The track was completely different, but this year was a lot more tame. I enjoyed. I think the track looked like fun as well. A lot faster racing. So congratulations on making the A main this weekend.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, it was my first A main at a big event, and I got to do it with, a bunch of people I know and look up to. It was a great time. I was there with my wife and my friends from the track I'm at here, and we love it. We love going to the events, and Dave always puts on a good one.
Yeah. You look like you had a lot of fun, so that's all good, man. That's great. So I know you was actually my first guest on this the Techno RC Spotlight, but we've been trying to re-record it because the audio was really bad. I believe he was in Starbucks or something when we did it. So we finally got around to re-recording it. So thank you for coming back on. Thank you for your patience. So tell us, man, how long have you been racing RC?
Been racing just for a couple of years now. Used to tinker for a long time, and then I went out to the track, and man, I got bit as soon as I was there. And next thing I knew, I was buying a racing kit, and it's been a couple of years now. But yeah, been doing that for a little bit.
And your home track is East Orange RC. East Orange, as I think I'm got it.
Yep. And East Orange County RC.
East Orange County, yeah.
Bithlo, famous Bithlo, Florida.
Yeah. I actually visited that track. I locked the keys. Good thing I was with Mike Santana. Myself, Trent, and Mike went there, and I locked the keys in the van, and Santana had to get it out. I also locked the keys in the van at PMB, and Steve Downs had to help me get them out. The same way that Santana got them out. Nice little track. Got a cool crawler course there. It's got a dirt oval. It's a paintball. It's got paintball and all that type of stuff. I was definitely on the lookout for gators there because it was kind of like foresty.
In the woods.
Yeah. And you also have Strickland that isn't too far from you in Daytona. I mean, you're in Florida. There's lots of places to race in Florida when it isn't raining.
Yeah, we're almost one of those. We may be guilty of having maybe too many tracks almost, but not really. They're all within a few hours of each other. So we definitely are lucky, though. We have year-round racing and a lot of tracks to do it on.
Yeah, I see that. All right, man. So what is your favorite type of racing?
I like to do the nitro is probably my favorite, but I'm more of a 10 scale indoor guy. I do that a couple times a week for practice. So I have a lot of friends at Beachline Raceway, and I like to go down there because don't have to worry about the rain. So, I'm probably a 10 scale guy more, but I really enjoy including my wife and being able to do that with the nitro. So
yeah. I see the Beachline track it's pretty popular in Florida. I've been seeing your pictures. Another guy, Chad Casson, I think his name is.
Yep.
He's a friend of yours, I believe. You guys race a lot, man. You race a lot yourself, so that's good stuff, man.
Yeah, like I said, we're lucky. So Beachline is one of those tracks where if it's raining, everybody just goes over there, and we end up with a C main on Wednesday nights usually. So yeah, it's nice and busy, and there's a lot of good people out there.
Is that an AstroTurf track?
Yeah, right now it is.
Okay.
But in the next couple of months, they're changing to I think it's like CRC carpet or something like that. The black stuff.
Yeah. The EOS carpet that they use for the EOS races.
Yeah. They're gonna try to build it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Is this? I can't remember. Does that track? Is it flat? I remember at one point it used to be dirt underneath, and then they put AstroTurf on top of it, so you had like elevation changes and stuff like that.
Yep. That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's still like that.
That's pretty badass. I think that's cool. That's awesome.
It is.
So hey, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say most guys from out of town have trouble on that track because it's got that dirt underneath it, so they might be used to a nice smooth track. They come to beach line and those bumps can really mess you up.
Yeah, I like that because you get a lot of people like I think AstroTurf and carpet racing is in 10 scale is just great. I enjoy it. I did it when I was in England. I think it's good for everybody. Lots of traction. I know a lot of people, and I like dirt racing, even though I've never really raced on high grip dirt or clay. Raced on loose dirt with 10 scale. I get that people like dirt too, but I think for the average new person coming in, Astro carpet is really good. It takes away having to spend an enormous amount of money on tires and whatnot. So good stuff. But having the dirt underneath it puts a whole nother challenge to it as well. So I like that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
All right. So tell me, man, what do you like most about RC?
I just like being out there with the people. I mean, I've met so many good people. For example, I mean, you guys, that's Mike and Jason Stubbs. I see those guys at the big races. I look forward to seeing them. I get to include my wife in. A lot of the people I know have their families out there. So I just like to be out there and have some beers and, run around the track, help people out. And, you know how it is. It's a nice scene.
Yeah.
99% of the time.
Yeah, I appreciate that too. I love racing. I like going to the big races, especially like the East Coast races, because I know a lot of people there, and it's very laid back. People are nice. Everybody's quick to invite you in their pits and sit off for a little bit. And the camaraderie is what I like about going to big races as well. And getting to know people that are into RC, because we're all crazy to do this scale motorsport stuff and be so passionate about it. So good stuff.
Yeah, and we had a big showing at AMS, so that was really cool. Got to rub elbows with some of the big shots and see some of the people that live around the lower eastern region, and I don't get to see them very often, so that was awesome.
Yeah, and you bumped up to the Sportsman A main. You finished your race, so I know you're super pumped about that.
That was amazing. Yep, I had a tire change, so that was pretty cool to watch from up there on the stand, and that was really fun, man. I got to race with Jason Stubbs, man. Like I said, I met him at PNB and hung out with him, and he was in the same class, so that's always fun. Yeah,
he done well. He won that race, and I know his dad and his dad and him are super happy. I'm super happy for him because I watched them progress. Like, he's only started racing about a year ago, like seriously. And he's a former motocross kid. Like, he was telling me all the bones is broken, and he's like 14. He's like, yeah, I broke both arms and
That's
this.
crazy.
And I'm like, yeah, I can see why you're racing RC cars now. No more motocross for you. You broke too many bones, and he was just 13 when he was telling me that. But very nice family, Mike and his wife Alicia, very nice people. I enjoy when I get to races with them as well. Jason's a nice kid as well. He's growing fast too. He's almost as tall as his dad.
Oh, he's gonna be a big kid.
Yeah.
And his dad gave me some medicine at AMS for my fingers when I cut them on the.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah, whose truggy was that anyway? Because they owe you a couple of beers.
I don't know, man, but at the same time, right after that happened, we won the raffle, and so I kind of feel like maybe it brought me some good luck.
Yeah, I saw a picture of your wife. She had a whole bunch of stuff. I think you got a charger and a whole bunch of other cool things. That's good, man.
Yeah, that's always fun to get some prizes.
Yeah, good stuff, man. Yeah, in case you guys didn't know, Kris stopped the runaway truggy at AMS, and he had gloves on and he stuck his finger in the flywheel, and he had a picture, man. That flywheel just ate part of his thumb away. You're a good sport, man. I would have been in the hospital. That's how much of a punk I am. I'd be like, yeah, just cut my finger off. It's no more good.
Yeah, well, it was a stupid move. I don't recommend anybody out there stick your finger in the flywheel.
No.
I'm even scared to do it at idle now, to be honest with you.
Hey, when I do it at idle, I'm like, okay, is it idling too fast? Like, if it's too fast, I'm like, nope, I'll just stick it. But if it's just a little bump, I don't know. We're
It's probably a good rule of thumb, no pun intended.
Yeah, no, exactly. So you watch a lot of RC. I know you're deep into it and whatnot. What is some of the things you would like to see change in our industry?
Well, I mean, I would like to see, I like the way RCTV does their broadcast. Obviously, it's very professional. So, I like to see that, the videos kind of step it up. So when we watch it, it's a little bit easier to watch, kind of like the stuff you see with RCTV and RCGP. I like that direction. It kind of, puts a fancy packaging on the sport, as I like to call it. And, I just would like to see that, just a little more attention to detail. As the racers, we know what's going on when we watch it. We're able to enjoy it. So we just kind of, I think it just needs a little bit more polishing.
Yeah.
And then we'll be looking pretty good.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. I enjoy watching. I'm about to watch some racing this weekend. I'm looking forward to the Nationals next weekend. I won't be there. It's funny, it will come up on my timeline. I see I was at the Nationals this time last year, and I was sweating my balls off because it was super hot. So, good stuff, man. Good stuff. So, do you have a favorite driver that you like, that you root for and you like to see do well?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of a Testman mark. I've watched all the pro line come drive with us, and he's usually the highlight of that. And I like watching him and his dad. And I mean, how could you not like Ty Testman? I mean, he put on a heck of a show at AMS too. So
yeah,
Ty is probably one of my top favorite drivers.
Yeah, he's good. He's having a little. He's not as. I mean, we say that now he'll probably go out and win the Nationals, but I know he caused a lot of noise on the internet over his pass on Lutz at AMS, but I think it was fine. I don't see any problem with that. I think anybody in their right mind would have done what he done if they wanted to win.
Ryan wasn't upset about it either. I mean, he may have been holding it in, but I tried to go over there and talk to those guys afterwards just to gauge what was going on, and he said, "Hey, it was a fun race." That's basically what he said. I tried hard.
That's Lutz too. I think he kind of knew near the end, like his tires went, and he went wide, and Ty went for it, and oh man, the internet was going crazy. I was like, man.
Were they going crazy over the tire warmers or the pass? I'm not sure.
Well, both the pass first, and then the tire warmers, and on that, like I shared that I don't really care about tire warmers. If people want to buy tire warmers, they can do whatever they want. I actually shared that post because I wanted people to read the last paragraph.
The end.
Yes, and it was funny because then Ty Testman showed that video of him pitting, and then he threw shade, and I was like, I love it. This is the type of stuff we need to see more in RC. Like, just let these drivers. Okay, like rivalry is great. Just let it be. Don't be a dickhead about it, but. Let these guys breathe and say what they want to say, and I think it makes for exciting racing and following storylines going into races. So good stuff, man.
It helps people who aren't up there. Gives you a little bit of insight of what it's like on the driver's stand. How important it is, and just that passion that you have when you get up there and start racing,
Yeah, man. Yeah, I like any form of racing. There's always like this past. I don't know if you follow Formula One, but this past weekend, Vettel and Hamilton had their I'm a Hamilton fan anyway, but people were upset because Hamilton won, and then Vettel came and took the number one, and I was like, yeah, that's what people love. People like to see Kyle Busch get ticked off in NASCAR and throw helmets at people and do. Yeah, that makes things exciting, man. I'm not saying
it does. So. It does. It's like I was saying. It goes back to the polishing up of the videos and stuff. It adds a little bit of extra excitement to it,
Yeah. Good, man. So, is there
yeah, that was fun.
Oh yeah, I saw the video where Joseph got taken out by Canas, and Joseph was so mad, angry, and he doesn't really get mad much. But he was mad that time, and he really got taken out while he was in third. So I felt bad for him, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a rough race over there.
Yeah, but that's. I think they were.
It was awesome. Though.
I think the track's so big that, like, a lot of people were complaining about the referee which is Mao.
Yeah.
I think he does a good job.
Yeah.
But with that type of racing, with a track that big, you probably need 2 people to watch out.
To watch.
Because that track's so. But did you see the straightaway? It went like around the whole track. You know.
Yeah, I was gonna say which one. That was crazy.
That was like one long
awesome.
straight. Yeah,
It was amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the. I was looking at the race that they're gonna have in Asti in Italy, and that track's nice. Woo, it's very nice. So should be good, man.
Cool.
Should be good.
We got a lot to look forward to. I love it.
Lots of racing going on, man. It's summertime. We got the Nationals, Euros, BD Design, which is another cool race. Lots of stuff going on, man. I love it. This is my time. We got the 10 scale Nats, 10 scale Euros, 10 scale Worlds. You know, I only watched 4 10 scale races. It's Reedy Race, 10 scale Nats if it's on, and 10 scale Euros, and I'll watch the Worlds obviously because I enjoy that. So yeah, good stuff.
Makes sense. That makes sense. Sounds like me.
Yeah, I'm a Nitro man. We all know that. So. But I actually want a 5th scale now, so I don't know. Maybe I'm switching over to 2-stroke. Who knows?
Well, then you'll have fun here in Florida, man. We got a lot of 5th scale guys.
Oh, yeah? That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right, man. Is there a particular race, like a bucket list race you'd like to go to and attend and just like one-time thing that you want to do in your RC time?
Yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, it's a I guess it's something that's pretty easy, but it's got to be go to PNB. I mean, I've only been as a spectator, so I really would like to be able to go and experience the weekend and the 24-hour practice, which I probably will be doing that next year. So it's not so much a bucket list thing, but like, man, it can't get here fast enough, you know?
Yeah, PNB is a fun race. I mean,
I would like to run on the Padova track. That would be unreal.
Yeah.
To run a few laps just on that, like, I guess I would consider that like bucket list.
Yeah, I mean that's another great track, man. It's indoor.
It's insane.
It's another one of those deep tracks, like Fairhing, where it was this weekend. So it's not long and wide like a normal, like, you know, a lot of tracks are rectangular shape. It's more rectangular shape going away. I've never really driven on tracks like that. So yeah.
No, me either.
So it's different.
That's why I say I can't afford to drive on a track like that. I can't imagine the rods and tires you'd be going through.
Yeah, I think it's actually very slippery there. I think you have to use sauce and whatnot. I think people actually get the problem is you have to use sauce, and people actually, because it's not the ventilation and there's so much sauce being used that
I was saucing for the first time at AMS.
I did last year as well.
The weekend.
I did last year as well during a qualifier. Yeah. But I think because everybody has to run it there, and the ventilation isn't so bad. I've heard like Boots told me he got sick there, you know, and whatnot. So
yeah, I had some sticky kicks, and I think that's a little bit better than what I saw going on over there. I mean, man, people were going crazy using diesel and burning the tires, and
yeah.
It was crazy, and
yeah.
But, you know, hey, they did good.
Yeah, I guess people do what they have to do to race, to win.
I guess when they say hot race, they literally mean hot race.
Good stuff, man. Well, is there anything you'd like to add or say thanks or shout out to anybody before we conclude this?
Oh, yeah, sure, man. I mean, you know, I just want to say shout out to Beachline Raceway, Robbie, TJ, and those guys. You know, same with Stu Trotter and them at East Orange County. If anybody in Central Florida, look up Beachline, look up East Orange County RC, look up Strickland track and come out and have some fun with us. Yeah, you know, we got a lot of good racers out here. We got Scott White out here. We've got Bobby Smith. We got Jason Frank. So we have a lot of really good people. We got the JQ team, the Walkers. So yeah, I just would like to say hi to those guys. Look forward to seeing everybody soon. Thanks to Mike Stubbs for helping me out at AMS. And congratulations to Jason, man. Awesome job. So I look forward to seeing everybody soon, and everybody come down and visit us.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for your time, Kris. I'm glad I got to meet you and your wife at PNB. I know RC is about meeting new people, making new friends. And you're an awesome dude, man. I love your energy. And I look forward to seeing you again when I come back to the East Coast.
Okay, man. I'm gonna keep an eye on your Facebook, and when I see you coming, I'll definitely be there.
All right, man. Thank you, and thank you everybody for joining us and listening to the Techno RC Grassroots Racer Spotlight. Before I go into the JQ Racing rant, I like to put this disclaimer out there. This disclaimer is for people who have young children who might be listening to the podcast. This is the part of the podcast where it gets a little rowdy, it's got cursing in it, jokes and whatnot, just banter that we would be doing normally as men or adults at the track in the pits. I fully get that a lot of people don't like that, and that's fine. So if this ends your podcast experience for this episode, we greatly appreciate your support. Thank you all. We can't do it without you, and we look forward to bringing you the next episode. If this doesn't end your podcast experience, please enjoy the JQ Racing rant. And remember, nitro is the glory, but e-buggy pays the bills. And if you aren't having fun, it doesn't make sense.
We are now at that point of the show where you should fasten those seatbelts and put your big boy pants on. Whoa. Things are about to get serious. It's time for the JQ Racing Rant.
It's that time of the show, everybody. It's time for the JQ Racing Rant. This week, it's just myself and Joseph. The Jeff is on vacation. I think he's traveling back home. I was hoping he would go to the Nationals, but he isn't. So it is what it is. So this week, I think we're going, and there's Joseph typing away as usual, doing other things when he's supposed to be recording. So, hey, Joseph, what are we going to rant about this weekend? This episode.
We're going to rant about tire warmers, right?
Well, yeah, because that was kind of a big thing in the media, in the Facebook networks. We kind of covered Tessman's Pass last week with Jeff, but I wanted to, Mike Garrison does his moment with Mike, I guess, or what I think it's called on Live RC, and he wrote about the tire warmers, and I think people actually missed over the most important point of this whole write-up that he wrote. It was at the very end. I personally do not care about tire warmers. If people want to use them, they can go right ahead. I don't care. But this is what he said at the end. Tire warmers alone will not be the death of off-road RC racing, but ignorance and turning a blind eye towards making changes, improving, and considering the future just might be. I 100% agree with that. Ty Tessman threw a little bit of shade as well. I think I like it. I like see Ty's maybe getting a little bit savage there. He posted up that video of him and his dad and his mom doing an awesome fuel pit stop, which you commented on. And he said, I hope this doesn't continue with the death of RC. Mike Garrison kind of issued an apology for what he said, but I think people kind of just ripped him.
What did he apologize for?
I think he didn't apologize, but he just said, I think you guys misunderstood what I said. He said, this is one of the comments he said. It's actually funny. He says, addressing the serious topics and future of RC does not seem to be something many people want to hear or discuss. We know that. Next week, I'll just play reruns of Sesame Street and the Brady Bunch instead. Yeah. I think people kind of got on him about the tire warmers. I don't really think his point was more about tire warmers. It's just, hey man, I don't really like. We have all this different stuff in RC. If people want tire warmers, they can have. Do they make a difference? I don't know. It was hot as can be at AMS. From the time you take that car, put it on the warm up lap, I don't know. Does it make a difference? Like it's already hot there. I don't know. What? All right. Well, you just start with this. You go ahead.
So I think the problem isn't really tire warmers. The problem is that, for example, 10 scale touring car, what happened back in the day, and I don't know the situation right now, but back in the day, the problem was that you literally needed new tires, new motor, batteries, everything, like new brushes for the motor and then actual new battery pack. each run at major races. It became ridiculous. It was so crazy. This is before brushless motors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for you to be competitive at the big events, you needed to be sponsored, really, or you needed really deep pockets. And even then, you still had to work so much just for a 5-minute run.
Mm-hmm.
That it sucked the fun out of it. I think that's what some people are sort of concerned of when they see, okay, tire warmers in off-road and all this stuff, that it's going to become this thing where you need additive, you need tire warmers, you need all this like special knowledge and equipment, and it's going to be such an advantage when you do it that you have to do it. Mm-hmm. And then if you don't, then you're screwed, and it's going to suck the fun out of it. That's, I think, what people are afraid of. And I agree with that to an extent. I think the main problem is the fact that RC racing has become more and more professional. We have paid drivers. The equipment is better, and there's also more options of everything. There's more different tires, different tire treads, patterns, compounds, brands, wheels, foams. There's so many different variables now compared to before, that if someone really puts in the work, they can find an advantage. And I think the main problem is that yes, it's become more professional. Professionalism has entered RC, but there is no separation between it. There's no true, real pro class, like everything goes, this is it, and then this is for everyone else to have fun. Mm-hmm. That's the main problem. I don't think tire warmers is a problem in itself. Tire warmers is just one of the things which leads you down that road of why touring cars died in the past, where you really had to have, like I said, new brushes, new battery pack, new tires, this and that, like the right tires. It just got too crazy. So I think that's the issue here.
Do you think they actually make a difference, like in off-road, like on a hot day?
I don't know. What race was that?
At AMS last week, or 2 weekends ago.
Yeah, I could see that they make a difference.
Yeah.
It's indoors. The sun isn't shining on the track. You get the tires up to temperature, and they just grip from the first lap on. Like, yeah, I could see that.
I also see no problem.
For most people, it's not going to make a difference. For someone like Ty, who can do the same lap within a tenth of a second for 5 minutes, yeah, it's going to make a difference.
I think this falls under the category where we talked about this, is RC too expensive? Well, if you're going to, I don't think you should, the money you spend on, I have nothing wrong with tire. If you want to have tire warmers, you can have them. Go ahead, buy a set and have fun with them. But if you think you need tire warmers to be fast, you'd be better spending that money on fuel, clutches, tires. I don't know, man. I get it. We as RC guys, we like to have gadgets. We like to have the coolest thing. We just we have this. I think I have it. I have this addiction where I gotta get something in the mail every month, at least for me. Something to do with RC. Now it's my scale trail stuff. I'm hoping my wife doesn't see what's coming her shortly, because well, somebody gave. I'm not gonna say his name, but somebody really hooked me up, and I appreciate it. I don't know, man. I think he kind of stuck to his guns, and I don't feel. No, definitely tire warmers are not the end of RC. Do you need tire warmers? Hell no, you don't need tire warmers. Just like you don't absolutely have to send your engine off to get broken in by a EBIS machine. It's nice, it saves time, but it's not necessary. RC too expensive? Yeah, if you're gonna buy tire warmers, if you got money to buy tire warmers, I don't want you. Hear anything about RC being too expensive, because they're not. It's not cheap, and it's something you probably. I don't know how much you're going to use it, but as for these pro guys, yeah, every little bit that helps them get an edge, they're going to do it, and we know the Testmans are all about that. So, I think it's
I think it's cool. All of that, I think, is cool, but it can't take away from the guys who don't want to do it. Like it can't lessen the fun for them and make them feel like, oh, I can't compete unless I have all that stuff.
You don't
That's
need
why
time.
we need that separation.
Yeah, I agree.
They don't need it, but they feel like they need it.
Yeah, exactly.
So we need to, we can't have it both ways. Either we have this sort of amateur hobby and everyone's just having fun and some guys get some money for it, or we make it more professional where there are people who do it full time and get, big bonuses and money and make, 100 grand plus a year just racing cars. And then they take it seriously, We can't have both. Like, do one properly, not both half-assed. That's what I think.
Well, I think if one is done properly, the other one will follow suit. If you have the professional class and then you have, let's say an amateur class like they do in motocross, people will be focused more on having fun. Like this is like our spec tire argument. Maybe there should be a spec tire class at some races and stuff like that. This would eliminate all those excuses about tires and I didn't have the right tire and whatnot. And I don't know, man. It could just go on and on and on. But I think what Mike said at the end of that was what really resonated for me more than anything, was about we're not addressing the real problems in RC. Yes, Ty used, I don't care. He used tire warmers. He didn't win. He didn't help him win. If you feel you need tire warmers to win, then you need to address something else in your, if you're not a professional and you think you need tire warmers to win, then you probably maybe you need them at a cold race where it's really cold, maybe they'll come in handy there, but I don't think you need them, man. I just don't. I think that money is better spent on tires, fuel, and clutches and glow plugs. But if you want to have them, go ahead. I don't think it's the end of RC. I get what you're saying, but man, we just addicted to having new stuff, man. RC is like a drug, and that's our addiction. Even if it's a screw kit, we want to have it, So I don't know, man. I definitely, I'm all about having a professional side and an amateur side.
Yeah, I would like to find a way to go back to how it used to be, where the teams, the manufacturers would make like one-off stuff to try and prototypes and go to the Worlds with something truly unique and special to try and win. I want to get back to that, and the only way to do that is if we do have some sort of separation.
Another thing that came up, and I don't even know if I want to get into this. I do want to touch on. I have to give you credit, Joseph. Yesterday, your post on Facebook really made my day. I have not seen anybody get that triggered before. So it was so funny. We're not going to go into.
Well, my post wasn't really even triggering. He just came on there for whatever reason and made a comment, and then the fun started.
Yeah, he was triggered from a previous post that you wasn't even involved in. Yeah. But it's too funny. It shows pure ignorance and stupidity, in my opinion. I don't know, man. Tire warmers, yes or no? I don't care about them. I care more about the last sentence in his statement. And we have to do something, man. We really do have to do something. I keep saying this over and over, but yeah, tire warmers alone will not be the death of off-road racing, but ignorance and turning a blind eye towards making changes, improving, and considering the future just might be. I think we should all let that sit in and talk about it, because I posted up, I think, the RCGP video of the kids blowing the horns.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I think that's super positive. Maybe you won't sell a car to it. Maybe none of those kids will get into RC. Maybe one does. But I saw some comments, and I've seen this come up before. It's not just specific to that. I keep hearing this from people talking about, I'm not getting any return on RC, or it's too expensive for new people to get in. And I beg to differ. I don't know what type of return, I don't know what type of return people expect on RC besides having fun and racing and competing. I don't know. I don't think a kid's going to go out there and buy a brand new 8-scale platform right off the bat. Brand new. No, he might start off as something different. But I think that planted a seed. You know what? And like you said before, you can start off buying used stuff. You don't have to buy brand new. You don't have to have a $500 OS engine. You could get P5s were selling. P5s, one of the best all-around engines I've ever seen, was selling for $150 at one time. You know what I mean? So RC is expensive as you made. I know we've been on this soapbox before, but I think people need to understand you don't need the best everything to be competitive. You know, yes, you need good stuff, you need decent stuff, but you don't have to always have the best stuff. You know what I mean? And
yeah, but people will never think that way.
yeah, and I don't know what people expect out of RC. If people, like, honestly, I get people that say to me, "Oh man, you're fortunate to work in RC." I'm like, "Yes, I am fortunate. I'd love to do that." I said, "Okay, sure. If you're willing to give up making money and putting a roof over your family's head, then you can have my job." And when you say that to somebody, they're like, "Ooh," but they don't understand the sacrifice that goes in. Like, it's so few people making money in this industry, like a decent living, let alone as a driver. There's only a few. We've talked about this previously before. The return on investment in RC is fun. Spending time with your friends, competing, having fun in a hobby or racing that you enjoy. You know, how many pro drivers is there? Maybe 15 at the most. 15, maybe 15 that do it for, I wouldn't even say 15 do it for a living. I say 10 of those guys do it for a living. And I would say 5 of those guys make a decent living, and I would say 3 of those guys make a really good living. So I just, God, you guys you gotta have fun. Like, get back to having fun in RC. Because like I say, if you ain't having fun, it doesn't make sense. If you know what? And I challenge anybody. I'm going to start a little thing here, the No Name RC Podcast Challenge. You know, what goes around comes around. Instead of you trying, I know, like I think what people also is like, you can't really sell kits for what you paid for them. Well, you just beat the shit out of a car for a year or a season off a race. It's rough on equipment. Don't think you're going to sell that for $350 for nitro, like for a kit. Put it down to a price where people can afford it that want to get into RC. I know lots of people do this. If you see somebody that's into RC and maybe they don't have the best equipment, give them something that you're not using. Because we're RC fanatics. Like I said, we're like hoarders. We have backup everything. We back up glow igniters, backup tools, backup starter boxes, backup engines for days, backup tires, backup cars. Man, if you see somebody that's struggling, maybe needs a little bit of help in the industry, give them something, man, or give them a good deal on something. Because you know what? Karma's a bitch. What goes around comes around. It works both ways, man. And I think, I'm not saying people aren't doing that, but I'm challenging people to do that. Because you know what? I've met a lot of good people in RC. A good friend of mine just sent me a nice scale axial crawler for my son to use, which I'm really excited about. I'm not going to say his name. I thank him for that. I didn't ask him for it. He just said, "Hey, I got this. I'm not using it. I'm going to send it to you for your son." I appreciate that. I'm on a budget. You know what I mean? I think if we do more of that, and I'm not saying people aren't doing that, but like, instead of trying to sell your old clapped out slider for like $350, man, put it at a decent price for somebody to get into it and then maybe help that person. I don't know. That's how I kind of feel about things. How about you?
Yeah, I think I kind of said my piece. There's always going to be the same issues. People are going to always complain about the same things. It's just how it is. I mean, in the past, RC was bigger in the past with no thought needed to go into it. Like, manufacturers had money, they had sales, they could do fun stuff.
Yeah.
Because RC was at that time like that high-end, like high-tech, fun hobby. Like, what, you can control a car with this controller and drive it. Like, that was the limits of cheap technology for kids, right? It's not that case anymore. There's video games. You can be a professional video gamer
and make
video
money.
Games are really good. You know, there's all kinds of different sports and hobbies and things that you can do with your time now. And in the past, it was more limited. In the past, RC was automatically cool because it was something so unique, so different. Now it isn't anymore. So now, if we are still not bothering to make RC cool, kids aren't going to do it.
Exactly. Exactly. We got to make it cool, man. And you know what?
It was cool because of the time period back in the day. Now it's not cool automatically. Now it has to be made cool.
Yes, I agree. 100%, man. 100%. Anyway, enough of this rant. Hey, the Nationals are coming, everybody. Enjoy it. It's one of the best races in RC. We're looking forward. I'm looking forward to geeking out over it, watching it. We'll be doing a recap of this next week, early, hopefully. And remember, man, if you guys can help somebody out, help them out, man. You know, hey, what goes around comes around. We all want to keep people and bring new people into this hobby, into this industry, into scale motorsports. So I know people do that. I'm not saying people don't do that, but you know, just think about it. Like, everybody needs help now and then. If you want to help new people get in, like, make it a little easier for them. You don't have to have the brand new stuff to get into RC. RC is as cheap as you can want it to be. Innovation happens as well. Don't get mad if somebody comes up. Like, tire warmers is not the end of RC. Sorry, Mike, but you know, ignorance and failure to be open-minded can be the end of RC. So, anyway, guys, enjoy the Nationals. Remember, Nitro is the glory, but e-buggy pays the bills. Thank you for all the support. Thank you to all of our sponsors, Assault RC, Techno RC, Bipolar Designs, BK Servos, and FastRace.com. And thank you to you, JQ Racing, for coming on and sponsoring us. Thank you to all the No Name RC podcast listeners. Thank you to all the guys that actually support us through Patreon. We are going to give away, we got some Assault RC tool stands to give away, as well as the No Name RC podcast tool stands to give away as soon as I get the list of new Patreons from Joseph. We are doing a giveaway this week for the skateboard deck from my buddy Clint Treadway. I think it's going to be whoever gets the top 5 right for the Nationals. I'm going to post up on that. I'm going to make that post today. That's a pretty cool thing. And maybe we'll do something for Truggy. Maybe we'll give away a car stand for whoever guesses the top 5 in Truggy. If we get multiple people, then we'll spin the wheel. Multiple people with the same guesses, we'll spin the wheel. But it's a really cool piece of swag. Somebody's gonna be happy. Hopefully it gets on their wall. I've got to get one made for myself and pick one up and bring it back when I come back. Thank you guys for the support. Episode 30, Joseph. We're on episode 30, 20 away from 50, buddy.
Yeah, that's about 28 more than I thought you would ever do.
Yeah. You know, it's going good. And I think we can hit 50.
You're even getting some advertisers on board now. That's cool.
That's cool. And we're always looking for more because, you know, podcasts needs to pay the bills. We need AC back here, man. It's hot. I'm sweating now. Anyway, guys, and really enjoy the Nationals. Remember, if you ain't grinding, you're sliding. And if you ain't having fun, it don't make sense. Joseph, thank you for your time. You have a good weekend or midsummer, whatever it is you guys have going on there in Finland. And,
I actually kind of think I'm going to go to the track today. I haven't. This year has been nuts. Seriously. I drove not very much in the Philippines. Then I did the RCGP. Then 2 weeks break, I did a national. Then a week's break, I went to the second RCGP. Mm-hmm. And since then, I haven't touched my car.
Well, go have fun, man. And please.
Yeah, it's crazy. I just, 6 weeks, driven 3 times or something. And those being 3 races. Yeah, it's not good. This has to change. No. I already have a plan. I'm working hard on all this other bullshit so I can get everything lined up. Then at the end of this year, go back into RC mode.
Yeah, hopefully we got a Facebook Live from you next week too. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm working on to get started. So we're gonna get on the Facebook Live bandwagon here over the summer, and then into RC mode in the autumn.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you guys, everybody. And like I said, enjoy the Nationals. It's going to be awesome. And stay tuned for the post about the giveaways. All right, guys. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the No Name RC podcast. Please tune in next time for more fresh RC content. And if you can, please also support us on patreon.com/theQuayGrain. We will greatly appreciate it. And don't forget, Nitro is the glory.